Hey, everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with something that I don't even know what to call. And I am here with Jonathan Moody, who I've worked with many, many times and has been my co-host on other things. And we have a special guest showing up. So
Yeah,
at some point, we will have a special guest. So who I'm very happy to have on because this will be my first time
with
making a
that
video with
person.
this person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jonathan, how are you?
I am doing great. I can't wait to talk about Michael Landon. I really love, wait, you're giving me a look. Well, I love how you can't tell me that you're not a big fan of Highway to Heaven.
I think I'm more of a little prairie guy, but no, that's the wrong Landon.
Oh, we're not talking about Michael Landon.
No, no, we're talking about his son, Jacob Landon.
Michael Landon Jr. Okay.
So yes, yes, we're talking about him. Now I'm confused. No, we're talking about Christopher Landon, the writer director.
Christopher Landon.
And I was joking with Jonathan before we started this that maybe we should call this Two Simps talking about Christopher Landon or two Simps defending Christopher Landon. Soon, I guess, will be, well, two Simps and one guest
One
talking.
guest who's
One
I am
guest.
not familiar, but for some reason wants to come on.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
fun. So somebody who does not know who
Well,
Christopher Landon is.
that'll be great to explain things to this person, and then the person be like, okay."
Okay, I have not seen any of these movies. Uh, um, but I mentioned to Jonathan a while back that because of what we're doing over on his channel and going through like all the Scream movies and the paranormal activities, which Christopher Landon is part of, that maybe we could just do a video on him, just on him.
Mhm.
And because a lot of the movies that he made would not fall into what we're doing over on your channel because he just doesn't have horror films. So he also has some dramas. And, with all the activity going around with Scream 7, and if you follow what's been said, according to him, he left Scream 7 weeks ago. So he was the first one to leave.
But he
Then
wasn't fired or anything,
no, he said that it was a dream job that turned into a nightmare.
right? That's what
And
I
then
heard.
yeah, then he left, and then it was Jenna Ortega. Technically, she left first, saying, "Oh no, but she didn't announce it until after." I'm blanking on her name, the older sister.
Melissa, it's Melissa, by the way. So I found this out through an interview that she did, and the person actually pronounced her name right. It's Melissa Barrera. But
Ah,
yes.
okay.
So if I ever meet her, I will call her Melissa because that is her
She
name.
would
That's
probably really like that. Somebody actually
yes.
pronouncing it correctly.
Yes.
I
But
got that. I got that once on an interview where I
and look,
I didn't even know I pronounced the person's name right, and they're just like, "Oh, thank you for pronouncing it correctly." I'm like, yeah, sure, okay,
usually I ask before I interview somebody, if it's especially if it's a name like that's a little harder, you're not sure, you know. Most people, if they have like a weird name, they will generally go by like Melissa goes by Melissa. Like if you call her Melissa, she'll be very happy. She'll answer to that like fine. But the fact that it's like that is we talked about this before with Stephen King. He goes by Stephen, but he should be Stephen. By the
right,
pronunciation. So
yeah,
I
yeah. I
mean,
think that he's even made a comment about that too, which is maybe where I got it from.
I
But
just
yeah,
like pronouncing people by the name that they were given. We talked about it was Elizabeth, basically, Elizabeth Shue. Um, I also believe like
that was for our Karate Kid
that
video.
was for our Karate Kid one we just did. But then there's every people have these names and they go by whatever, So Christopher Landon, I don't think you can get that wrong.
No, unless you confuse them with another Landon. That's the only way. But at least they're still all related. So
That's
what we
right.
got is Christopher Landon leaving first, which we didn't hear about till later. Jenna Ortega leaving second, but we didn't hear about that till later. And then say her name correctly for me.
Melissa Barrera.
and then she left. So she didn't leave. She was fired for having according to Hollywood, the wrong political view because people can't have an opinion,
I absolutely agree with everybody who said that that was wrong. I think everybody should be allowed to state their opinion, and
oh, you're saying
if
it's
it,
wrong that she got fired
yeah,
because
it's
of her
wrong that she
opinion.
got fired. Like
Gotcha.
if
Okay.
she, and I think if it sounds like everybody was leaving already, so maybe that was already Spyglass's like last attempt to say, look, we're gonna change this franchise around and everybody's already leaving anyway, so like whatever, like let's just get rid of her anyway.
Yeah, they thought that Jenna Ortega left after the firing, but I guess
Right.
she left before, citing scheduling problems with Wednesday. So, I mean, who knows if that's true? And now we're down to just the writer who has to redo everything from scratch. I was,
Probably a whole brand new movie. Like I'm gonna guess it's gonna be a reboot, you know, because unless you just bring her back, Nev Campbell back, and then just say the other characters got killed off screen or something like that or whatever. Um, you might as well just start a whole fresh.
well, with the money that they're saving, they can bring Dev back. I heard that one of the rumors was McDreamy is coming back.
Which one's that?
Uh,
Oh yeah, the Dylan McDermott, is that his name or is that?
no, not Dylan, the guy who plays her husband, who was the
Oh,
cop.
that's right.
He
Because
was
he
McDreamy.
was in the sixth one. Who's yeah, the one that like won the like best looking guy award.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Can't Buy Me Love. I think he was. Yeah, I'm just blanking on his name.
Patrick Dempsey.
Patrick Dempsey. Yeah. So I mean, they could probably get him back, and then I think Nev would. I mean, I think Courtney Cox would come back.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would be a problem. But maybe because of the other cast, the new cast from 5 and 6,
Hmm.
maybe not because they might side with the two girls.
Also, it
So
would be silly. I mean, no offense, but it would be silly to have them in there and not have the other people in there because they're really, I hate to say it, even though they were the core four or
God, did I
whatever.
hate that?
Yeah, everybody hated that. Another good reason
Who
why this should just get rebooted. Nobody liked a lot of this stuff from part 5 and 6. People got annoyed by
or
it.
just stop. I mean, I guess maybe because of horror films these days,
Well,
you're you're just going to keep making them. I did see somebody on Facebook go, just stop. Why do
right,
we have
and
to
I've seen
force
that
this?
too. And I saw somebody say take a decade off. Problem is you can't take a decade off. You take a decade off, you lose the rights. So they need to keep it going at some point so they can keep the rights, because rights only last about 10 years. You have to make a movie. If you don't make a movie in 10 years for that, you lose the rights and it goes to a different company or another company can buy it out, or whatever. So I would say just reboot it. Give it a, and I'm sad that Chris left, but it sounds like it was a train wreck and he made the right decision. So,
Yeah, I was very excited that Christopher Landon was going to be directing it. As I'm sure he's probably an uncredited writer, but I wish that he also would have just written the movie too, just direct, written writer and director. But because he's a good writer, but
mhm.
he was just, I guess, hired to direct the film. But I guess now we'll see what he's going to do. So let's start off with his he co-wrote
Filmography.
this, and yes, we'll go through that. And so he was a co-writer on this, and which I enjoyed. It's dark, and I would not expect the same guy who did something like Happy Death Day or
I was gonna
Freaky
think Happy Death Day is like because it's a
yeah
little bit more light.
is not like this
Or
at
we have
all.
ghosts. We have a ghost.
Oh,
We
we'll talk
have a
about that. I
ghost.
I love that film.
I know, but that's more silly and more fun.
Yeah, well, which I think is kind of more of his
Style.
horror, yeah, horror comedy type thing.
Yeah.
Um, and then of course we got the paranormal activity stuff. But yeah, so that's another day in paradise. So I made the joke about being a simp, and I guess I am because I own everything that he's done except for one or two things that I think are not available or will not made for me. Since he is an open gay man, so I could say that he's open about it, he has made some films for, the gay community, which do not appeal to me. They just don't, they're not aimed at me. So I don't have those. Plus, I don't even think they're available because they're part of anthologies.
Yeah,
But
I saw that years ago. It's directed by Larry Clark, the same guy did Kids.
yeah,
I remember I felt like it was like a Tarantino style kind of,
that's what I
thing.
thought and why I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Jackie's. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, but our guest is here.
Yay, our guest is here.
Yes. So
She's
I'll
connecting.
introduce you after she gets all done over here.
Almost
Introduce
there.
her. I can, I guess she just needs her audio to start working. I love it when we have the guests come on after we've already started because like it's like okay we gotta wait for them to actually start coming on. Um, but yes, we'll talk about Another Day in Paradise.
See, maybe if
Let
she's.
me let
Oh, wait,
me see
okay,
if
wait. Connecting audio. Okay,
oh,
we're getting there.
we're getting there. This is the fun parts of podcasts, right? This is the stuff that you love to show people. Oh, it didn't connect to audio. Uh, Jackey, you gotta, I don't know what, let me see if I can, let's see. Uh, I don't know. I don't think I can actually do anything to get
No, I
your,
think she's got to
she has
click
to do
it.
it.
She has to click video and audio.
Yeah,
He probably
there's
has
I
that
think
that little line through the microphone, maybe.
maybe, um, I don't know. I think she might be doing it through her phone. She's like listening to us talk, but she can't, she can't defend herself right now. Poor girl. Um, oh, she can't even hear us right now.
Oh,
Um,
I'm hoping this works. I'm excited.
yeah. Um, Let me see. I'm gonna ask her to start video, and maybe that helps. Oh, there's video. Now let's get you audio. Yeah. Um,
Okay, she's in focus and everything. That's good.
you gotta click the audio. The audio thing. Uh, gotta read what I wrote to you. Oh, oh, maybe that'll work.
And once it says connected, then she should be okay.
Yep. Can you hear us still or no? Because you just gotta actually connect your. Oh,
Oh,
there it
wait, wait,
goes.
wait, wait.
Connecting
Connecting
to
to audio.
audio. It's connected to audio, so can you hear us? Hello? Uh-oh.
It did have an X.
What? Oh,
There was
shoot.
an. It said connecting to audio, then there was an X next to it.
Uh-oh. For some reason, it's not connecting. Do you have... I don't
Maybe
know. Jackey, I don't know.
tell her to turn the Bluetooth off and then back on again. That might work because that's what I have to do at times.
On and then off.
And then when it's connected.
This is riveting stuff, folks. This is this is exactly what you want to see on a podcast. I hope you do editing, but if you don't, then fuck it.
Nope, this will just be in it. It's fine. There should be the is there a microphone that pops up on her screen and you can click the microphone?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she's on her phone. It might not do that. Let me see. Is there a microphone?
Wait, wait,
Microphone,
wait,
maybe.
wait, connecting to audio.
Let's try it again.
Okay, it's got the
It's
check mark.
okay. Can you hear us? We can't hear you yet. So you connected to video audio. Make sure your uh microphone is on. Nope. You don't have a microphone? Then how are we gonna hear you?
No, she has a microphone right there.
Where?
She has it in
Oh,
her hand.
Okay. Then she can hear us because she's responding. Uh, I think there, if you click on the audio thing, it might say where the, if you click where it says like mute, you can click and select microphone.
So that she had speaker off, now speaker's on.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
This is the most
Hallelujah.
complicated Zoom I've ever had in my life.
What happened?
I
That's because
don't
you have a
know.
new microphone.
Well, it never did this with my other microphone, so I don't know.
I don't know. Well, maybe it's changing microphones. Sometimes that's a big pain in the ass.
I've
Like at
noticed
the
if my phone is on Bluetooth, it won't connect. So I have to disconnect it from the phone and then put it onto here, but it still takes like a minute for it to recognize it.
I think that's what happened.
It's a
Well, John, this is Jackie. Jackie, this is John.
Why
You
does
guys have never
John
met
look
yet.
familiar? I feel like I have met him before.
I
I
don't
don't
think so. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
you
we've
guys
ever
had a
done a video
podcast together.
before. No.
Have you had him on your podcast before?
I have, yes, many.
Then that's probably where I've seen him.
No, yes, you've seen the TikTok videos because he's on a bunch
Yeah.
of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, because I
Because
have
she
my own
follows my
channel.
TikTok stuff, so she probably sees it just pop up in the feed, or whatever. So yeah. All right. Well, there you
So everybody,
go.
this is Jackie Hall. Welcome. Welcome to
Welcome.
this.
We've tried to have you guys together before, and for some reason, it's always did not work. So Jackie was just like, I want to come on a show. And I was like, all right. But she is not a simp for Chris Landon because she doesn't even know who he is, I don't think, or not much. So
Oh
this
well.
will be an interesting.
Well, we'll bring her up to speed. Do you know who Michael Landon is? Who's on Little House on the Prairie, Highway to Heaven?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is his son.
Okay.
And he is mostly a writer, like a screenwriter. He is an openly gay screenwriter, so I don't have a
Okay.
problem saying that. And he wrote all of them, but one, all Paranormal Activity movies.
Oh, okay.
Except for
Yeah,
like the first and I think the
the
last
first
one.
in
So,
Ghost Dimension, first in
or
Ghost Dimension.
yeah, Ghost
Yeah,
Dimension, not the last
and
one, but the
then he
Ghost Dimension.
directed the marked ones.
Yes.
And he was going to be directing Scream 7, and he dropped out. He said about 7 weeks ago because it was a dream come true that came into a nightmare. And that's
Oh, I hate
then
that.
when the two girls left it, the two actresses, Jenna Ortega and Jonathan. Please pronounce the other girl's name correctly.
Melissa
There we go, and
Barrera.
her, Brera. Yeah.
Jonathan,
So
you can say exotic names.
Yeah, well, I had to like listen and then listen and then like no, it's everybody calls her Melissa and it's actually Melissa. But
Oh,
yeah.
Melissa. Okay.
yeah, so now it's all up in the air. It's all everybody's saying it should be canceled or rebooted but I made a comment earlier that maybe Jonathan and I are simps and we will basically defend anything that Christopher Landon does.
Except for one.
Yeah, except for one.
We
Man.
both can't defend that movie.
No, and so I have basically everything he's done except for that one, and then some other movies that like short stuff that he did that just doesn't appeal to me because it's basically for like the gay community, and I'm not gay.
Okay.
So we're gonna go through the movies. I'll look on Wikipedia to make sure the order is correct, and then we can talk about them. And if you've seen any
Wait.
or have comments, please, you know, just holler, and
I'm
we'll
gonna Google on my end too.
yeah,
You Google.
he's really good. You might know some of his stuff like Happy Death Day.
Okay.
Happy Death
Yeah.
Day,
Talk about that?
yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna talk about
we
that.
talked.
Not
Well,
yet.
me
We're
and
going
me and
to.
no, me and Jackie have
Oh,
talked about that before
okay.
and stuff, and I don't think you saw it though, if I'm correct.
It's the one where she dies every day, right?
Right. Yeah, on
Yeah,
her birthday.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you
And
have
then
seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay. Freaky, the movie with Vince Vaughn, that's the Freaky Friday, like the horror version of Freaky Friday.
Okay, yeah. I've seen that.
Okay, so those were a few of his newer ones.
Okay.
Okay.
So, all right, cool. Okay, and any of the Paranormal Activity movies? Have you seen any of those?
I think I've just seen two, and I've seen 1 through 3. I don't think I've saw the fourth one because they kind of just started getting silly for me. But
Okay, we got a couple of them there because yeah, two and 3 are
2 and 3 he did.
he wrote, yeah.
Yeah,
So
he
okay,
wrote.
all right, cool. So we started to talk about this one, Another Day in Paradise. So
another.
She
which
said he co-wrote.
yeah, he co-wrote this, and it's got James Woods, Melanie Griffith, Vincent.
Melanie.
I can't pronounce this. Oh, Manelli. Yeah,
Melanie
Melanie
Griffith.
Griffith. Thank you, Vincent. I can't pronounce your last name, and
Wait,
Natasha Grayson Wagner.
wait a minute. What's the is
It's
that's
like
not D'Onofrio, is it?
no, it's like Car the Carthesiar.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Carthesiar.
Yeah, Vincent I'm gonna go with Carthizer.
Yeah, he's
But
basically the lead in the movie,
oh,
and
okay. Really?
yeah.
They're not gonna put James Woods as the lead? Jeez.
No, he plays like the uncle, and then Griffith here is the kind of like the aunt in a way, kind of like a surrogate aunt. And then Wagner is his girlfriend. And then yeah, he's basically the lead.
Okay.
And Jonathan had mentioned, that he just thought it was maybe like a Tarantino ripoff. And
Yeah,
that's
so
why I didn't see it either. But it is
yeah,
Larry Clark who did Kids.
who did
It's
Kids?
the 98 movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Larry Clark did Kids. Did you ever see Kids, Jackie?
Oh, I don't know.
Kids is the movie about like the 15-year-old kids who basically it's just like a day in their life, and like Rosario Dawson's in it, like it's like
There's a bunch of people in
HIV or
it.
some shit. It's got a lot of controversy because of it being like kids doing real shit,
Was
like
this
it's
in 95?
yeah,
Yeah.
that
I'm
movie.
It also
gonna,
has Chloe
Savini?
Cervant's. Savini, yeah.
Savini.
She's in it. She's the one who has HIV.
Oh, okay, she's the one who has HIV. I
Yeah.
know Rosario Dawson did something happened with her, like she got
Yeah, and
pregnant
it
or
was
something. I don't know.
what's his face who did Julian Donkey Boy and Spring Breakers,
Yeah,
and
Harmony Korine.
yeah, he wrote it.
Yeah.
So, but it's a pretty brutal movie. So
Paul keeps telling me we're gonna make me watch Gummo. I hate that fucking.
I've heard it's really bad, so I won't watch it. So
Yeah,
there's
no,
no reason.
but
But this is also pretty brutal too. It's has a very dark ending, and it kind of just ends. There's really no
was it
official
her
ending.
first movie, Rosanna Dawson's? Was it her first
Rosario, yeah,
movie?
Kids was, I believe, yeah. She's not in this one, I don't think.
No, there are pre like Hollywood people in this. I don't think they list them on here, but God, who is it? We'd have to look it up.
I'm looking up right now.
There's at least two
Peter
actors.
Sarsgaard is in it,
Yes, yes, he plays like
and
he
so
plays like a Nazi, like a white supremacist.
Leo Fitzpatrick, who was in Kids, he played like the main guy in Kids. He acts in a bunch of like almost all of Larry Clark's films. I guess they're like friends, or
Hmm.
whatever. He like works with them. Um, but yeah, he's in that movie. I saw it years ago, and I just don't remember anything about it other than I remember it feeling like a Tarantino movie. Like it feels like a ripoff
It's
of
very
those.
handheld. I watched the exclusive director's cut, so I've never seen the theatrical cut. It does say Bonnie and Clyde for the 90s. I completely disagree with that. And there's a really weird review on here that says it's sexy, shocking, and mesmerizing. Shocking, maybe, not sexy. This is not a sexy movie.
I'm watching the
I,
trailer right now.
Yeah, it's Natasha Grayson Wagner is very cute in it, but
I've heard
she's
of
a
her. I've
junkie.
heard of Natasha Wagner. I know I've seen her and stuff.
Yeah, she was the girl at the very beginning of Urban Legend, the one who gets killed at the
Oh,
gas
okay, that
station.
was her. Okay,
That
I
used to
just
be my favorite movie.
Love
Urban
that film.
Legend. I
It
just
was one. It
I
was one of my first favorites.
Nice,
I
that's a good one.
just bought it. I have it somewhere. It's up here. But I just bought it. The Scream Factory version of it or whatever. So where'd my face
There's
go?
different versions.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
no,
Yeah.
well, it's the same movie. and everything. It's just like it's got special extras and stuff. So wonderful. But anyway,
Yeah,
yes,
good
I love
film though.
Urban
Yeah,
Legend.
she is part of the Wagner family.
Okay.
So her dad, my God, I'm blanking on the mom too, is famous. Okay,
It was spelled like WAGG, right?
no, just Wagner.
Wait, are you sure?
Yeah,
Well,
so it says
I'm
right here,
sure you know.
Wagner.
Okay.
Does she come up?
Well, I just watched the
Yeah.
kids trailer and
Natalie
Oh,
Wood.
so
Yeah.
it's Natalie Wood's daughter and her father. God, he's famous too. He was actually in Austin Powers. Um, his okay, I'm gonna look down here. Uh, oh no, father's Richard Grayson. I thought it wasn't Richard Grayson, but yeah, Natalie Wood's daughter. Then
Okay, so there's a deleted scene from Another Day in Paradise with Vincent Kartheiser involving fellatio and rough sex that had to be cut from the movie in order to avoid the NC-17 rating. The scene is included in the uncensored director's cut on the flip side of the DVD.
I believe she did do that. You don't really see anything, but yeah,
Maybe that was what was cut, was you don't see much, or
yeah.
whatever. I don't
I
know.
mean, it's not really important. She just does it. So, I mean, the disc doesn't really have much. I mean, it has all those things that I don't think are special features. I mean, it is widescreen trailer. It does have audio commentary. There is a music video, but cast information, English, Spanish, screen access, interactive
Being
menus.
widescreen is not a special
It
feature.
shouldn't be a special feature anymore. So it's yeah. So it's at some point I'll probably listen to the audio commentary, but um then the next one that we're looking at here is one that I just so we did another Boy's Life 3 where he did a segment. So that's one of his it's like a short story. I think I read it's about him being gay as a kid, like as a teenager,
Oh, okay. So
and
you
what he
just
went
kind of did
through.
an autobiography kind of thing.
I think that's what that is, yeah. And then he did Blood and Chocolate, which is a werewolf
I
movie.
heard of that movie. I know it's on Tubi, so it's available to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I turned it off when I first saw it. I thought it was boring as hell. And then once you told me and had one of the other writers of Scream on it, was it Ethan,
Or Ewan Kreger,
Ewan
Ewan
Krager?
Kreger. Yeah.
I thought, oh, okay. So I rewatched it last
Maybe it's
night.
Aaron because it's like Ehen, but maybe that's just a weird way to say Aaron, you know?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, yeah. But they're the two writers. It's directed by a woman, so that's interesting. So because we don't get a lot of
I
female
mean,
directors these days.
Twilight was directed by a woman. I mean, that sounds like it's trying to be sort of a
It's a little,
Twilight.
yeah, it's a little Twilighty. He's like a comic book artist, and he's doing like a graphic novel. So he goes to Bulgaria, which is obviously where the film is being funded, and he falls in love with her, and she's a werewolf who doesn't want to hurt people, and then he's like the king of the werewolves. So it's
I'm a
very.
werewolf with a heart of gold.
Oh, he's not though. She is.
Oh, she is. That's right.
Yeah,
She's the heart
but
of gold.
it's very Twilight. It's very underworld. It's I think my reason for turning it off was that it just wasn't directed interestingly. But then when like there was no style. But then
Mm.
when I rewatched it, um, because of where it's shot, they have some great locations in here. So
Cool.
Hmm.
almost the camera just being kind of straightforward instead of like weird angles and stuff, actually I think benefits the movie now. So I think that was probably the right choice because of its location.
Well, there you go.
But it wasn't bad. It was not bad. There's a fair amount of deleted footage, which didn't really need to be in the movie, so which was nice. It's like 100 minutes. Might have still could have been a little shorter,
Just
but
so people know, we were doing Paranormal Activity for, was it Mainstream Monday stuff? And that's when he started just going on a fucking binge buying all these Christopher Landon movies and then watching them and then telling me, "Oh, this is great," or this was not as great as this one, or whatever. And so this sounds like one I'd probably check out at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth watching. It's because I did the same thing with like Christopher McQuarrie. I just bought The Tourist because he was one of the writers on that. So I seem to be much more interested in writers these days.
Hmm.
But it's interesting kind of going through their stuff because so far we've had two, one, yeah, kind of Tarantino, and then one, kind of Twilight type movie.
Right.
So so there's that one. And this one has on it also audio commentary by the director and the main bad guy there.
Nice.
Um,
I actually like that. I was looking at like what is it? Like Urban Legend had an audio commentary with the director and Michael Rosenbaum. He was in the movie. But
oh yeah,
I'm like and I think the writer too. So he had all the people. So I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like I love hearing that stuff, especially when an actor the other one was what is it? Popcorn or was it Popcorn or was it New Year's Evil? But I think it was Popcorn had like the actors, including like Jill Schoelen did the commentary. And I feel like a lot of times we don't get that anymore. We don't get the actors coming on to the commentary tracks and talking about,
some of them
that
want to
stuff.
be paid, so, like big bucks. That's why. Well, I won't say who it is because I don't want to get my friend in trouble. But there is an actress who wanted a ton of money to do audio commentary, and they passed. So it's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. So
Well, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, they're literally just going in there and sitting and talking about the movie for a couple hours and then leave. I mean, it's not,
well,
shouldn't be paid like a film, a set or something.
like Flash Gordon 1980, Sam J. Jones, and then the woman who played Dale refused to do it because they felt it was communism that they were doing it for free. So they did their own audio commentary and sold the disc separately. And they
Wow.
signed it. I bought it because I wanted the audio commentary, but other people did the audio commentary. But she was in the interview I saw, which was on YouTube, she was very, very much against communism. And this was communism.
Oh gosh.
So
I
yeah.
can see Jackie's eyes rolling.
If somebody has to do it for free, you don't have to do it. Just say no, no,
Yeah,
thank
just
you.
say no.
Or
I
just buy
don't.
him lunch. I listened to one audio commentary with Ridley Scott. You could clearly hear him smoking a cigar, and he's eating. So they probably bought him a cigar and lunch. And he's just, he's like, okay, and he just comes in and eats.
He also wants to talk about his movie. Like I was listening to his commentary on Thelma and Louise. Like that's awesome. Like you want to talk about the movie you fucking made. You know, like
Yeah,
I don't get people who are like,
it's
oh,
weird. It's all weird.
Tarantino used to do commentary and then he stopped. You
It's
know,
normally the prima donnas that are living way beyond their means and they're kind of blowing all the money that they're making from movies that demand pay for this type of stuff.
no,
That makes sense. Yeah, yeah. To go back to your urban legend with the special features. So, my buddy Cliff, who was at Scream Factory, he told me for Urban Legends Final Cut, I think it's called, that the director wanted to do a behind the scenes. So he's like, okay, yeah, go ahead. They think in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour and a half, if not
nice.
longer. He threw everything, so it's a double disc because they couldn't put it on the other disc.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
That I love. Like that when it's a bare bones movie and doesn't have special features, I kind of get bored. I want some,
yeah, at least give me audio commentary or something,
yeah, something,
So this next one is one that actually Jonathan knows and likes. Yeah, it was made right after Blood and Chocolate. Oh, and the reason why it's called Blood and Chocolate is obviously blood because they're werewolves, and chocolate that she works at a chocolate store. She makes chocolate. So
You
that's
wait,
that's
the
what.
werewolf that makes chocolate.
Yeah, because
Okay.
she's a good werewolf. She doesn't want to do bad things, but everybody else wants to do bad things. So
That's how it is.
yeah.
All
It's
right.
a movie,
Um,
Jonathan. Sky's the limit.
and Jonathan knows this one, Disturbia.
Disturbia. Yeah.
You know this one too, Jackie?
I do.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So this is a J.D. Caruso who directed this one, does a lot of TV movies, a lot of movies out there. And Christopher Landon is one of the writers, but he did story. So this is his movie as far as a writer goes.
But it was kind of like, wasn't that sort of like Rear Window?
It is Rear
Like
Window.
Rear Window, yeah. Like
It's not like Rear Window. It is
it
Rear
is
Window.
okay.
Yeah. And I, as you know, my love for Shia LaBeouf. So
Shia LaBeouf.
who I actually liked in this. So
Cool.
I'm
Yeah, I
not
liked him
really a
in it.
fan of his. I think he's kind of a douche.
Oh, he's a
But
douche, but he doesn't care.
no, yeah, I guess he doesn't. So yeah, I mean, whatever. But
He's
he's
definitely a weirdo, but I mean, I have to say he's a great actor.
Mhm.
I really
he
do think he's a great actor.
when I had a Transformers marathon,
Yeah.
and compared to Mark Wahlberg, this guy is like Sir Laurence Olivier. I mean, it's yeah, he's a much
Well,
better actor.
Mark's
So I
just
wish
not
he stuck
taking his
with it.
underwear off, or whatever, his pants and underwear. Like
I
that's
like
his thing.
Mark.
Marky Mark.
I like them both.
He doesn't
I don't
have the
know.
funky bunch with him. That's the problem.
I love Mark Wahlberg in The
I love Mark
Happening.
Wahlberg too.
In The Happening,
I mean,
No.
guys, Transformers is kind of known for not having all the best actors. Look at Megan Fox. Like, come on.
She's hot, but
Oh yeah, oh she's the hottest
she's
oh,
crap.
great in Jennifer's Body. That's her best like film, I think,
Yeah,
that's a good
But
movie. Yeah. Well, and you can tell just how Michael Bay positions her on cars and motorcycles, that she's just there as eye candy.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we don't care. But she actually can act. I mean, she was in that Judd Apatow film. This is 40. This is 40.
40,
40. Yeah, and she
40.
wasn't bad in that one
Yeah, she wasn't. I honestly never thought she was all that bad in general, but people just always knocked on her acting like really bad.
because of her looks. I think it's like because she's
well,
You think they
really
were jealous?
because she was famous, because she got famous because like for her looks, for being gorgeous, or whatever. So people just treat her worse than she should be treated, you know.
well, and she. I don't want to say this was a mistake, but Hollywood mistake. She did bash on Michael Bay. That was a
Yeah,
huge mistake. If he deserved it or
Yeah.
yeah.
not, it was a huge mistake, and that kind of killed her career for a while.
It did, it did. And
Yeah,
I don't know if she did anything else for a while until the Jennifer's Body or whatever, and then she did the Ninja Turtle movie.
Turtles. Yeah, he brought her back for that. Yeah, like oh, they made up or something. But yeah. I guess when you're comparing him to Hitler, that might not be the best thing to do.
No.
Hitler. That was a
Ye-
wrong choice of words for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe he is a dick. I have no. I was actually there the day when he was here in Vegas, and it was for that electronics convention years ago because I was working for Samsung, and I was there when his monitors went out, and he couldn't continue doing his speech, and it was hilarious because he
Oh
just couldn't.
no.
Because he didn't have monitors, he couldn't riff, so he just walked off stage, and everybody
Oh
in the
no.
audience is like, "What? Where is he coming back?"
What
What
just happened?
happened?
Yeah. So, and this actually has some pretty good stuff on it. It's got an audio commentary with the director and Shia, and I think it's a Sarah Romer. I think it was his girlfriend in it, the female lead. So this wasn't
Cool.
bad. I actually enjoyed this. I watched it once and didn't like it because he's in it, but now I kind of like him. I think he's okay. He's just
It's funny how people grow on you.
yeah, and I think this is before he was known. So he was so in the audio commentary, I listened about 10 minutes of it. He's actually like kind of okay. He's fine.
I
So
think he, in recent years, has kind of sort of been getting it back together. Shy. He was a Disney kid. He started off on
Even
what's it?
Stevens.
Steven Stevens.
Yeah.
I
And
think
then
that any of those Disney kids, any of those kids that got started really young and got super famous, there's something wrong with all of them, almost
yeah.
all of them.
yeah.
Like
He
their character is just odd and off.
he was in
Yeah.
a Project Greenlight movie,
Yeah, the first one.
The second one.
Was it the
And
second one?
it was the second one. And I actually interviewed the one of the writer or one of the directors, guy and everything, but I didn't really get to ask him. I didn't ask him too much about Shia or anything, but apparently, I mean, from the Project Greenlight show or whatever, they kind of showed him just being just this really down to earth, nice kid. But he was a kid then. It was Battle of Shaker Heights, and he was
Yeah.
just a kid, and he was
Oh yeah, that was the
16
second
or
one.
whatever. And then he didn't even have his driver's license, and they had him pretending to drive and shit. It was crazy. Like it was fun though, and he seemed like a nice guy. So I think it just, fame a little bit. He got more and more famous, and he sort of became this weirdo, kind of person.
Yeah. Oh, Holes. He was in Holes. That was
Yeah,
also
he's
his
in
big
Holes
movie.
as
I
the
actually
Disney.
like that movie. Holes was good.
Yeah. I
Of course,
haven't
I was
seen it,
young
but I
when
heard
I
it was
watched
good.
it. I was
Yeah.
really young when I watched
It
it,
was
but
probably meant for you, like that your age range too,
I keep
so
forgetting that you're so old, Jonathan.
uh,
I'm just kidding.
don't talk.
I'm the oldest one
I'm
here,
kidding.
so
Yeah,
I'm
I think
kidding.
John's a little older
I
than
still
me, so
remember using a dial-up phone, so that's how old
I
I
do
am.
too.
I
So
remember using a rotary phone.
a
A rotary phone. I had one
rotary
at my
phone.
grandma's house that had a rotary phone. I was like,
Yeah.
wow,
I
grandma's
used
really
one
too
that you
bad.
cranked, and you held the piece to your ear and you spoke into the other little microphone. That's how
Yeah.
I,
old I
I
am.
only saw those. I've only seen those in movies where like they're at the operator. The operator's the one doing it and
Yeah,
stuff.
and I would have to say something like, "Operator, give me Transylvania 65000," and then she would transfer me over to Transylvania 65000.
And you in the movies, all you had to do is pick up the phone. You didn't have to even dial anything. Just pick up
No,
the
yeah, you
phone.
just picked it up. Operator, I need Lakeside
Movies
HD5.
lie to you.
Yeah, so yeah, I think one of the things with like him being weird, I think it goes back to like agents, managers, people that are like hanger-ons saying you're like the greatest thing in the world, and they start to
Yeah.
believe it. And because I went to Sundance in 2000 and I met Vin Diesel and I had a conversation with him, and it was for Boiler Room. He was
Okay.
incredibly nice, like really nice, like really appreciated that I liked the movie. And then years later, when he became Vin Diesel, it became, yep, it's an extra million to take my shirt off. And
Mm.
then he was just making all these movies that just sucked. And you just heard that he was a major dick. And then he mellowed out.
Yeah.
And maybe the same thing with him. Just everybody was telling him,
Just,
you're God's gift to acting.
I mean, honestly, to be completely honest, he's not the best looking kid like Shia LaBeouf. He's just a really damn good actor,
He's
and
definitely no Van Diesel.
yeah, like he's not going to be taking his shirt off, and people are going to be like, "Oh my God."
I don't think anybody's going to be offering him $1 million to take his shirt off.
I, I think they might have offer $1 million to put it back on, but not.
Maybe.
But
Maybe. Nap.
no.
That's why Vin Diesel and Jason Momoa should have a show off with their shirts off. So
YouTube
how many
commenters
abs
are
do you
going to
have?
be like, "Why are you talking about Shia LaBeouf in a Christopher Landon discussion?"
Because he's in the movie.
Yes, he that Christopher. Just to remind everybody, Christopher Landon wrote Disturbia.
Story and co-wrote the screenplay. The
Nice.
next one is it was a TV show, Dirty Sexy Money. He wrote
That
2
sounds
episodes.
familiar.
That does sound familiar, but I don't know it.
It's an American primetime drama television series. It ran on ABC from September 2007 to August 2009.
Oh, so 2 seasons or 1 season?
Looks like 2. So I guess 7, 8, 9.
Did seven,
But
8, 9?
it's like 2 or 3. But it cuts off. It's hard to say without me clicking on it. But yeah, he wrote 2 of the episodes. He was also a consultant. Now, Jonathan, we're at that movie,
Oh God.
Burning Palms. So me being a shill and a simp and everything else, I had to watch it. It's his first directing gig. He wrote, directed it, produced it. It has very famous people in it. I am not the type of person to say this movie hates women or this movie hates black people or this movie hates gays. This movie hates women. It truly does. I almost turned it off. But I said no, I'm going to
I
stick
did
through
turn it
it.
off. I couldn't,
It
I couldn't, I couldn't do it. I told you that, and you were like, I think you were upset that I couldn't finish
No,
it,
not
but I was
upset.
just
It was like,
like,
oh wow, I didn't think
uh,
that you really turned off movies.
I know I usually don't, especially when I'm going to be talking about them. But I watched two of the five segments, and I got so angry at the movie. Like the first
every
segment just. So, by the way, we make a joke about a certain person that we call Norman, Jackey. But there was a character, the daughter and the father kiss each other on the lips. And I go, I'm having Norman flashbacks here where you're telling me this stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God.
How
It
old were
was
they?
the girl was 15
Yeah, that's too old.
and the father was like 40 something, 50 something, whatever
no
he
parents
was.
should kiss their kids on the lips,
No.
cheeks.
Not at that.
Italians and parents,
I've
cheeks.
never kissed any of my parents on the lips. That is
Uh-uh.
just gross to me. That's just weird.
Well, I have to say, there's different sides to every story, and it's not really the kid's fault. Obviously, it's how the parents raise them, right? Because how are they going to know, In the South, where I grew up at very young ages, I'm talking like baby, toddler, like 1, maybe 2 years old, they'll do like a little like peck, like on the lips. I and most other kids, when they get a certain age, is like, okay, I'm too old for this now. And they normally stop doing that.
Right.
It's very normal. It's very, very normal. But after a certain age, like 4 or 5 years old,
Yeah.
like
Not
getting,
15, you know.
yeah,
And the girl did not look 15. I'm sorry. I didn't buy it. When she ordered, I thought she was a college age kid because the girl who played her probably was. She ordered that drink, or whatever at the in and whatnot, and it gave me like it just rubbed me the wrong way that first
The
episode.
entire movie.
And so the second segment with this girl who's like all obsessed with their fucking finger
So
or whatever.
so
her
all the
finger.
people in this are known. They're all known.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's hard for me to believe that a studio okayed this. The reviews that I saw on YouTube were so hateful. They were almost like career-ending reviews. So the
Oh,
the episode that Jonathan is talking about is it's an Asian woman. Her boyfriend wants her to put her finger up his butt, and she doesn't want to do it, but she does it. And throughout the rest of the episode, she, even though nobody can smell it, she washes it like for 20 minutes. She's just washing her finger, but she can always smell the poop on it, and nobody else can smell it but her. And it drives her insane to the point of her being in an asylum where she cuts her finger off. And
okay.
now everything is okay.
That has to come from someone that wrote the movie that either had that happen to them or from some sort of personal story, because nobody in their right mind just randomly thinks of writing a scene like that for no apparent
That was
reason.
Chris Landon, the
Yeah,
person we're talking about,
yeah,
wrote and directed the film.
it's
So,
the only film I will never own, and
huh.
I would love to talk to him about it, but it's yeah, every episode is like that where something horrible happens to the female lead. Acid gets thrown in their face, or they're hit by a car, or whatever it might be. I'm like watching this film going, does he? And I've watched all of his other movies before this. It's like, does he hate women? Does this?
No, he
Does
doesn't
he?
usually. Like,
No, he
I've never
writes good.
heard
He
that.
writes good female characters, at least in my mind. And
Yeah.
it's
So
like
it's
I don't get it.
now here's what we didn't explain to Jackie. So the movie's called Burning Palms, and it's basically about
Should have
LA.
been Burning Finger.
Yeah. Well, that's probably that skit should have been called that, but it was called This Little Piggy. That's what that episode was that segment was called. So it's kind of funny, you know. Because like this little piggy went to market, this little piggy, and this little piggy
Jonathan,
got cut off, you know. But
I
anyway,
cannot. I
I think the
cannot.
this first segment was called Green-Eyed Monster or something like that, or whatever.
Was this
So
in 2010?
yeah,
Yeah, that shit would not fly today.
Not today.
No,
Definitely not.
and I'm surprised that anybody gave him a directing job after it.
No, I think,
I
see,
mean,
here's the thing. Plumhouse is the start of doing that. And they're very much known for if you've had a flop, a really big flop, like James Wan and God, I'm blinking on the name. Lee Winnell
Lee.
yeah,
had a big flop with both Death Sentence and
Dead
Dead
Silence.
Dead Silence. Both those flopped bad.
We're
And
since
for
for
a
them too.
while, nobody was touching James Wan at all. And then Blumhouse, Jason Blum said, come work for us. We will do this, right? And Insidious became the movie that brought their career back and stuff. I think that's what they thought about doing this is like he had this big flop, but they wanted to give him another second chance to prove himself. And he's really good at horror, so they gave him a horror. They gave him the directing job for I think it
Paranormal
was
Activity too.
for Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, and then the one that he did. Then after that, he got to do Happy Death Day because of. I
Mm.
think he directed the Happy Death Day movies too. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, it
yeah.
started with Paranormal Activity, so he was writer on 2, 3, 4, and 5, the marked
And that
ones.
was after Burning Palms, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, only a year later. Because yeah, Burning Palms 2010, Paranormal Activity.
You would
No,
think
no,
like
same year. Same year.
same. Okay, so maybe the movie hadn't come out yet, and they were like, so they put him in something, and then afterwards they were like, "Woof! Well, you're lucky you're working for Paranormal Activity because he wouldn't have much of a career after that, I don't
I mean,
think."
if you got these three, I mean, I don't know, maybe went off that and then
What?
said, with like Disturbia and Blood and Chocolate and Another Day in Paradise. So at least he has three films before that, and then a
That
couple
he
TV
did,
things that are
but he
short.
co-wrote. This is his directorial debut was Burning
Right.
Palms. So for a while he wasn't directing anything; he was just writing. So maybe they were like, "You're a good writer if you're not directing the movie too at that time,
I mean,
or
Burning
whatever."
Palms isn't horribly directed. I would say it's a flip. It's horribly written because I would say maybe he had like a bad breakup with a girlfriend or like a divorce from his wife, but
Wait,
he's
who?
gay, Christopher
Yeah,
Landon.
I was gonna say
Like,
he's gay, so
right.
maybe
So
a
maybe he
boyfriend
wrote
he
this
had a.
movie. Well, but then why make a movie that hates women? Why not make a movie
Right.
that hates men? So it doesn't make
There's got to be
sense.
an
That's what I'm
interview with
saying.
him somewhere about him making that movie.
I'm gonna look this up.
There's got
And
to be
he,
an interview.
yeah, and he brings it up in the Paranormal Activity documentary. He says, "Oh yeah, my first film was Burning Palms, which is why I think I got to direct the marked ones."
That's not why you got to direct the Mark ones, buddy.
Well, the
Um,
paranormal stuff is very incestuous, so it's they really did stuff inside, like they really didn't venture outside.
Yeah.
Later on, it became a writer directed one, then an editor directed one, and but this is yeah, it will never enter my collection. I can't do that. And
well,
I'm
there.
all for politically incorrect stuff. I have no problem with it at all. But this no, this is went beyond.
Okay, so I'm looking up one of the interviews he did with a company called, or with a thing called This Is Horror, and they have timestamps, right, for each one. The first one's our early life lessons growing up. Next one is Larry Clark and his screenwriting start. Next one after that is how Chris can tell if a screenplay is good or not. That's interesting enough. Disturbia is right after that. Humor and horror. Then it goes into Paranormal Activity, Happy Death Day, Freaky, Personal Beliefs, We Have a Ghost, Current Work in Progress. He completely skips over Burning Palms, which I wonder if that was either his decision, when he talked to them, just don't mention anything you do, don't mention Burning Palms, or if that was something like they didn't want to bring it up because it wasn't horror.
It might be in the interview somewhere.
Yeah. I'll have
Never
to check
think
that
it.
out and find out because Burning Palms was so bad. Like I just hated it. I hated every character that I saw. And after those two segments or whatever, I was just like, I'm done. I can't watch this anymore. Like
I
it's
don't get offended by movies.
I
This
don't.
offended me.
I know. I don't either. Like this, and it didn't offend me in this. Like this just offends me. This like offended me. Like this is just terrible, and it should have been better, especially with Christopher Landon. So,
That's why I
sorry,
think it
Chris. We
offended
love
me.
you. We are simps. We just not a simp for that movie.
No, no, there's no defending that. I can't be one of those people that defends, the Marvels or Obi-Wan Kenobi or those things where it's garbage and they could defend it.
She-Hulk,
She-Hulk, no way can I defend that. That's garbage.
Velma.
That's garbage. Can't defend it. No, no, not at all. No, no,
Oh, well, anyway, moving
no.
on.
And you look at the people who do defend it, and you can tell they've never had sex in their life. So
There's apparently I looked ahead to like other segments, and there was one where a guy rapes a woman, and then she comes back and in this Burning Palms movie, and I'm like, that definitely would not fly, you know, today. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yes, yes. She likes it so much that she goes to his house and becomes a stalker for him to rape her more.
That is
Now
not.
that is like something that a sociopath would only think of to write about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Honestly.
she's like in her apartment. He breaks in, he's wearing a mask, and he rapes her. He leaves. She becomes obsessed with him and starts following him around. So then she becomes the stalker and she ends up in his apartment and she wants him to wear the mask and continue to rape her, which he continues to do to get her to stop.
you know, this is another movie 43. Where they tried to do an anthology with like edgy shit and it just sucked. It was just terrible and it was not funny and it was not and it's like this is not cool. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can't, especially today, you cannot make something like that. Like that would people would actually be okay with doing, with
Well,
watching. I'm
coming from the world of psychology and being in college for psychology, I can tell you right now that there's no normal human brain that is not a sociopath that would even think of a scenario like that.
you know
Because normal people's brains just do not operate like that. They don't think of those types of things. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, because
yeah.
it's almost like he was thinking, well, let's do a twist. He'll rape her, but then she wants it more. She's the one who's going to stalk him and rape him.
Yeah. No.
Boom.
No, not good.
Sounds like a
And
narcissist to me.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like, no, this is
well, and the funny thing is he's gay, so like what does he know about women, really? Like I mean, I don't know anything about women. I'm a freaking dude. But
Sounds like
like,
there's a reason why he's gay coming from that. It sounds like some woman burned him pretty bad at some point in time, and
yeah,
he
that's what that sounds like,
started playing
but
for the other
I don't know if
team.
that's the case or if he actually always was gay and he
I
just
don't want to put words in anyone's mouth. I'm just saying that's highly likely.
yeah,
no.
I mean,
Who knows?
yeah, I mean,
But
it's
he's
it's
openly gay, so he's very, and you know what? And this sounds terrible, and I don't think this is true of this, but some people lie about their sexuality to get, attention for whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
So it could be that. It could be he's actually straight, but he's pretending to be gay all over the place so that it gets him some more attention and some more stuff. So I don't know, but I think he is. If he's openly gay, I'm pretty sure he's gay.
When did he come out?
What? And when
When
did
did
he
he
come
come
out?
out?
When did he come out?
I have the Wikipedia up here, so let's see. It's personal life. He came out in 1999. He said
Good Lord.
um as a teenager or kid, he was called the F word. I don't like using that stuff. And his mother was Christian, who did not accept him. And he told her that he doesn't really even believe in God, but since she does, maybe she just accept that God made him that way.
Where's
Um,
he from? East Coast?
it doesn't career maybe. Um, Without reading through all the career, I'm not. It doesn't say from just
I'll
looking
Google.
at it.
Okay,
Got it.
so When asked about how his father would have reacted to the fact that he is gay, Christopher said his public image was very different in many ways from who he was as a father and as a person. He was extremely liberal in his beliefs to pretty much everything. He was not closed-minded to anything. I don't think that it would have mattered to him at all. So that was one thing. So Michael Landon would not
He,
have cared, like whether or not he was, like if he was straight, gay, whatever.
he was born in California.
Well, I mean,
Huh?
that's the place to grow up. Like, they're very California is very welcoming too, especially if you're in like the San Francisco area or anything like that.
Oh yeah,
Very,
being raised in the Bay Area and visiting
right.
San Francisco literally 2 nights out of every week, like Friday and Saturday, my friends would go down and we'd hit the clubs. I mean, I had gay friends and never thought of them as gay friends. It wasn't until I moved down to LA is when all of a sudden, because it was Marin County is money. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are, it's money. And that's when you meet somebody, you're like, where are you from? Because
Mhm.
that's if they say Oakland, that could be a problem. If they say Berkeley, that's not a problem.
Hmm.
So it's all money based. It does
Right.
not matter gay, straight, white, black. It
Well,
doesn't matter.
anyway, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he is freaking gay, but but
This is a mystery. It's an oddity. It really
I just
is
don't
because
understand why he writes all these segments on here where women are treated this way, and stuff.
I mean, if when you look at it, something like Another Day in Paradise, the two women that are in this are perfectly fine. In fact, they're probably, well, I would say Melanie Griffith is more of the mature, smart one.
Right.
But even Wagner is not looked at poorly. And then,
Hmm.
Blood and Chocolate, the female, the woman is a lead, and
Yeah.
she's the most reasonable, sensible person in this.
Happy Death Day, the character was great. The lead girl was
Yeah.
great in it. So, I
The
mean, I don't
the girl
understand it
next
either.
door in Disturbia is really good. She's smarter than he is. And his character is good too, but she comes off smarter than he is. So it's bizarre that this one movie in between those three and then the Paranormal Activity films, which
Y-
are primarily female based, if you actually look at them, except for like marked ones is like the Hispanic guy. So he's writing for like a Hispanic market,
All right.
which he did
And
good
even
with.
then doesn't is not bad at all. It's not like the women are smart in that, and well developed. I the grandma, I love the grandma in that one. Uh, but
Yeah. So let's
uh,
move on to those. Let's go back up.
okay.
We were up, then we went down, so we're going to go back up again. Jonathan has seen this many times, so this is my Paranormal Activity box set that has every
Okay.
Paranormal
Look, it's got a
Activity.
hand.
That's
Yeah, is
cool.
that cool?
That is cool.
And it's got every movie, including Next of Kin and the documentary that talks about all the
I need to
films.
buy that at some point just
Oh,
because
I
it's
if my apartment caught on fire, I would have to grab this. I could not leave it. So it's even got like the puffy lettering on it too. Um, so he did, as we know, part two, which I think I thought was the best one because I like that it was a prequel and a sequel. I thought they worked that out really well. So and in the documentary, I don't think they mentioned why they brought him on. Like, I don't think anybody goes, "Oh yeah, we saw Burning Palms and we wanted to have him write for us."
Yeah, I don't think they said that, but they did talk about him coming in and that my favorite bit that they talked about was him sitting in the chair listening to their notes and their stuff and him just having this like look of like dismay and anger and the producer was like, "What's wrong?" And he said, "You're doing it all wrong. You're missing this one part that needs to be, so he explains it and everything and becomes the best part of the movie, which is the dragging of the girl being dragged in the hall and down the stairs and everything, because that was the one of the best parts in the movie, but they couldn't do the first one, but they couldn't do all the cool stuff. So later they, you know what I mean? Like it
Right.
was. So
Yeah, because he showed that he was a good screenwriter, that he had
yeah,
good
he had
ideas.
cool ideas that actually made it work. And they
So, guys, it says right here, after London partnered with producer Jason Blum on a project that never came to fruition, I don't know what project that was, he found himself sucked into the orbit of the Paranormal Activity franchise. It was an accident, he said. I got involved to a writers' roundtable, or got invited to a writers' roundtable when they had shut production down on the second movie.
that is true. They did talk about that, that they had to shut down the production for a little bit because it just wasn't working. Whatever they were doing wasn't working. So yeah, okay. So they invited him to a writers roundtable and he showed them what he could do.
Yeah, because I think they mentioned that they just were thinking of just doing a sequel, like where's Katie or something, like it's just a sequel. And I think he's the one who came up with the idea of doing the prequel sequel,
The
which
prequel
was
sequel.
which was genius. So
Yeah, it started with the prequel, and then at the end of the movie you see Katie, and it becomes
yeah,
like what
yeah,
happens after Katie is possessed. So that was really neat.
yeah. So and actually, this is having to do with Paranormal Activity. I mean, it kind of does. But if you've noticed, for being a gay writer, none of his characters are gay. I don't
No.
think I've seen one movie of his where one character is gay, not like a husband, wife, a uncle, cousin, nothing. They've all been straight.
Mm-mm. Yeah. So I don't know if he's just I don't know, some people are kind of weird about that, I guess, because then you're speaking for, for your, demographic, and everything instead of just being, it's like Neil Patrick Harris when he came out, he didn't just start doing gay movies where he was gay all the time. He did like How I Met Your Mother. Well, he did How I Met Your Mother first, but he did movie other stuff like he just played,
I would.
other
This is where he became a household name. I think is first him coming out was the greatest thing that ever happened to him. I mean, it opened up so many doors because people just liked him anyways. But it was Harold and Kumar
yeah.
where he's sniffing cocaine off of a hooker's ass, and everybody knew he was gay. Everybody found that to be the most hilarious thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I think
That was a
that's
great.
where
I
everybody.
loved the first Harold and Kumar the most. Like I
Yeah.
just think that's so funny.
And that's it's that it's never it's when it's not thrown in your face, when it's not that if you don't like this movie, you're obviously a homophobe or something, or you're racist. When it's done, when it's not bros, then you can have both straight and gay people enjoy it. So you
Hmm.
can watch Harold and Kumar and get that from him, or you could even watch like How You Met Your Mother and know that he's gay, but his character is a total womanizer,
Hmm.
which is funny, and he obviously finds it funny because he did it.
Yeah.
So it's all in how you play into it, and so I don't know why Christopher Landon hasn't done that because maybe he doesn't want to be known as self-inserting, which is a big
Right.
thing these days. And
And plus, like you're saying, it becomes where it had a lot of times where you put in like it feels like political agendas. You have to
yeah,
throw this in there, and everything. And that the fact that this isn't what he wants to do, he just wants to make movies. And he wants to make entertaining films. Like, Burning Palms aside, most of his films are entertaining, you know?
yeah,
So, I
This is
mean,
interesting right here. It says, fits in right with what you guys are talking about. It says most screenwriters, when they narrow down an idea, will go back and watch similar films to find the creative constraints of the genre or subgenre. With Disturbia, for example, it would make sense for London to go back and watch Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window, but that's not his style. London said, I do the opposite. I avoid movies that I think might be similar. I do want to sort of taint or pollute what I'm trying to do. I try to find inspiration from different kinds of films that might evoke a certain feeling or tone, but I don't go back to a movie that feels similar to or close to it. At the time, he said I can't talk. Rear Window was a film that I had very much dedicated to memory. No need to go back. I had seen it 20 times. For me, it was more about going to John Hughes movie.
Hughes
Like,
movies, yeah.
yeah, that really I was trying to bring to the table of Disturbia. The Hitchcock element is there. It's the bread rock, but for me, it was how I was introduced as a younger audience to Hitchcock. So I don't know, but you said that that movie was like Rear Window.
Yeah, it was exactly like Rear Window,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah.
it was
Yeah, he's
I
good.
can see a little I can see a little John Hughes in it too,
Well, the
just maybe
music,
yeah, and a
the
little bit
various artists
darker
that are
John
in
Hughes.
it are that's John Hughes, the
Yeah.
bands that are in it. But it's taking Rear Window, and instead of in some other movies, like I think one called Bedroom Window with Steve Guttenberg, he's not in a wheelchair. He has the ankle bracelet,
Right.
and so he can't go like 50 feet from his house, so he's restrained to his bedroom,
My
and
favorite
that's what
one
he sees
was
everything.
my favorite one was the movie Abominable, you know, where Matt McCoy is in
Oh
a
yeah.
wheelchair and he watches Sasquatch killing his neighbors, one of them being Tiffany Shepis, and everything. And that movie was so fun because when I first watched it, I'd never seen Rear Window. I knew of it, but I hadn't seen it. But like when after I seen Rear Window, I'll go, "That's Abominable." And I was like, oh, that's,
Oh no,
it
wait,
got
no,
it.
Abominable is Rear Window. Hold on, wait.
Right. It's the other way around. But what I'm saying is like I saw it, I go, oh my God, I recognize that idea, you know.
He
So
said that the first 3 weeks of material that was being shot for the second Paranormal Activity, there was no script at all. They were just winging it.
That makes
Uh,
sense from what we
that makes
know.
sense.
yep,
Oh,
they said that they could do it in the who is Oren Peli. I don't know how to say names way and just wing it with a vague
Oh, the
idea.
director from the first movie.
Okay, and they said that the results were
Oren
disastrous.
Pelly, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. See, you know how to read. I don't. They said the results were disastrous. At this point, the studio was shut down production and did a writer's room. London was brought in. They showed some of the footage and pitched some ideas to the writer. London, who wears everything on his sleeve, couldn't help but speak up. I'm in this room, and all these writers are saying this is great. The head of the studio looked at me, the frown on his face, and said, "What's wrong?" I said, "This isn't good. This doesn't work. I think you guys are in trouble, and it's not scary. You need to have moments." And I pitched in the room the scene that's later in Paranormal Activity 2, where Chrissy gets up, ripped out of the nursery, and pulled down the stairs and into the
Hmm.
basement.
I
Um,
don't know.
After the meeting, the studio executive pulled London aside and asked him to write that single scene. This was an unusual request, but he took on the task, and not long after, he was brought on to write half the movie with another writer, which also failed. But then he was brought into the brought in to write the whole movie and several more after. The lesson of it was there was a lightning in a bottle moment. You can wing something if you are Oren, however you say the last director's name. But every other time you need a script. From that point forward, I was writing scripts for each film.
Which makes sense. So
Yeah.
that's yeah, because then you bring on the best guy. If everybody else is failing,
Mm-hmm.
then you bring him on. So it's, because even with, this, then we can move on to part three, is that's a prequel. So the two sisters are now little girls.
Is that
And
the
then
found footage like stuff?
they're all found footage, technically found
Okay.
footage. Yeah.
So all paranormal activity is found footage. Is that
Yeah.
kind of like the Blair Witch Project? Is that like where all
Yes.
that
Yeah.
started?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
If you wanted to get into it, like that's where it got popular. Yes. But it did.
Mm.
There was a couple other ones before Blair Witch, but Blair Witch was really the one that caught on and
It
became
was
a
the
thing.
goat. It was the
Yep.
goat.
It was at the time. Now, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Paranormal Activity has sort of beaten it a little bit
Oh
It,
because
yeah, Blair Witch is not scary at all anymore. I mean, it's out of its time now.
well, also Paranormal Activity only cost them like 50 grand. Only cost them like I think $17,000 or something, 15,000, something like that in that range, originally just to shoot it and everything. And then when the company bought it, the production company bought it and made it, they ended up it ended up making like millions and millions of dollars and being one of the highest grossing horror films of all time. So,
Well, had there been another found footage movie that, got popular in between Blair Witch and
Mm,
Paranormal?
people have
I don't.
tried,
Yeah, I don't
but
think so.
then
No,
no, then nothing else caught on like that.
because Paranormal Activity killed Saw. Saw was the big movie, one a year every Halloween, and
Yeah.
then the first Paranormal Activity came out and killed it. That's why they stopped making Saw. And then something else then had to knock out Ghost Dimension for Paranormal Activity because then they stopped, and then that took over. So it's, but as
I'm
far
just
as
laughing because of the text message I just got.
Okay.
We're talking about Saw and James just messaged me.
James Wan. Nice.
Yeah. He's just saying Merry Christmas. But
Yeah,
that's just
she gets messages from James Wan, like good
are you
God.
serious?
Yeah,
You
I've
she's
got a
known
friends
message
with him.
from James
so
Wan?
Yeah,
I've known
he's
James.
listening to us. He knows we're talking
It's
about
really
Saul.
weird. Like literally my message just popped up and yeah, when we were talking about Saw, so weird. I knew James before like I've known James for over a decade, like before he was like big. And
What?
yeah, and we met on Facebook. It was back when, I was in horror actress and I was just like asking everybody, like, can I be in your movie? Like, what do I need to do? Like, can I be in your movie? And I think I was too scared to ask him to be in his movie, but we just became friends. Like it's never been anything more than that. We just became friends and we've kept in touch all these years and it's been insane to watch him grow and I'm really proud of him.
He used to be really good friends with Sierra too, Sierra Holmes. They used to communicate all the time, and so when he found out that she passed, he actually said his condolences to me. So I really appreciated that because, he's a very good dude, but it's not like she says it's like a friend thing. Like for her, for me, it's just like he knows I'm a fan, kind of thing. So
We're
he's
more
very
than just fans. I mean,
we are. I
we
mean, we've been
support him. That's
okay. So I haven't written to him about it because I'm like so afraid, like that I'm sure he's seen on my Facebook, if he ever looks at my Facebook, that we've had our James Wanathon. So we have all our horror film lovers
yeah.
James
I mean, when
reviewing all
we
his films.
started with
I'm
what we
sure
did all
he's
the
seen it because
Conjuring
he
and
looks at other people's
Posts.
Facebook
Yeah.
posts. So, like
Yeah.
he does. Like I know that for a fact because of responses that he's, responded to me. And I'm just like, oh wow, like he's checking up because and that's a good friend. I mean, and he's like super fucking famous now. So I don't know. Just sometimes I wouldn't, expect that. But yeah, he's good people. I'm sure he sees your stuff.
And
I
so I really
yeah, if
appreciate
he
that.
watches any of it, I hope he likes it. Sometimes we're not the kindest, but it's
Well, we're honest and we're
yeah.
not gonna we're not we may be sort of simps a little bit for James Bond too, but we're
Oh, we're
also
total Sims for James Wan.
but
Yeah,
but
definitely. Yeah.
we will be honest if something didn't work for us, we'll mention
And
that,
1L.
and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I absolutely love most of his stuff. I mean,
But we did something that we did all the Conjuring movies in the order of date of like when they're supposed to take place.
yeah,
So like we started in the 50s and then ended up all the way up to, whatever present day one, and it didn't work. Like it didn't work. There was so much retconning and
and
all
changing,
the
yeah.
yeah, it did not work. And so that's where it's just like, sorry, dude. I mean, it's just we love the
But
movies
we love the
themselves,
movies, yeah.
but
Yeah. But
surprisingly,
there's
the one
issues.
that did work well, and he did direct one of them, is the Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah.
So
You know, it's very surprising to me that I have not met him actually in person because when he was shooting Fast and Furious, I was waiting tables downtown ATL and they literally like had all the streets closed off around us, like just tearing up the streets of Atlanta
You should have
during
hit him up and be like, "Hey, I'm working. Come on over and say hello."
you know what's funny is I was so busy back then, just like trying to like survive, that I was not paying attention to what movies were being made and all of that. And by the time I hit him up, he was like, I literally was right behind your like place of work. You should have come like and said hi. But they were already done with production at that time. So
Damn.
So
Oh
have
well.
you left acting? You said when you did acting. Are you not acting anymore?
I've taken a very long break from it. I decided to go back to college. I don't have like a family like support system. So in order for you to make it as an actor, you need to have some sort of support system, you know, because you never know when your next check is coming in. And so it just became way too stressful for me. It became way too stressful. I decided to go back to college, get a degree so I could have like a firm foundation and then go back, you know, like fucking around with film stuff. But it's hard. It's hard. I don't think people realize how hard it is for people in film to make it. It's hard.
Yeah.
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 I mean, and you know, she'll work on stuff if like she'll work on my movies
Yeah.
if you know, but that's just to hang out with me. You know,
Drive you
really,
crazy.
drive me crazy. I'd probably drive you worse. But
And
yeah, we're
it's not an easy thing to do. I mean, I work a 40-hour a week job and then just have to, with that spare time, I don't know if you've seen the AXEMAS films or Meat Hook 4, and that's the stuff that I've done, but it's you got to really get that time in there. That's all you're doing. You're working and just
hmm
doing film. That's it. You have no
Yep.
life outside of that.
I
So
didn't unfortunately have the mental capacity of energy to do all of that. So I had to pick one of the two. So, and I'm working full time and going to college. So,
education's better.
Maybe
you
a
know,
little bit.
I've seen I've seen people that have, you know, their bachelors, their masters, and they're making no money at all. But I feel like those are people that honestly are like they refuse to like move to places where they could be making more money with their degree or whatever. Like, you know, you have to make sacrifices. Um, but I've also seen people that didn't even graduate high school that have made it huge in film and they've just gotten lucky with networking and meeting the right people and being able to get their stuff out there to the right people. And it's not so easy for everyone. So,
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's got different circumstances. So,
All
yeah.
right.
mhm.
Let's move back to Chris Landon.
Chris
Yeah.
Landon.
Where's Landon? Okay, so I mean, if we kind of want to just group all the, because I don't want to keep you guys on here forever, all the paranormals together. So we have
hmm
part 3, which is um what am I blanking? The prequel.
The prequel.
Yeah, to
That's not a prequel sequel.
no, it's not. It's just a prequel. And that's what the two sisters is kids. So we learn all about their past, and
Which
that's
I
when
remember you not being a fan of because the kids were annoying.
the kids are annoying. I also remember it's also the one that made the most money, except for the first one. I
Well,
just
I think
didn't.
that's because everybody liked the first two, so they went to see the third, you know.
Yeah, we get to learn a little bit more, but it's also one of those things where in 1 and 2, why weren't the things talked about in 3? Oh, because they hadn't written 3 yet. Okay, so we're going to introduce things that we should have known in 1 and 2,
So
but of course,
retconning, yeah.
yeah, and I just didn't think I didn't like it as much when we did the
And we
review.
watched these in chronological order. We didn't watch them in the way that like
Oh, these
we
you
did
can't.
with
These
James
you do
Bond.
have to watch in chronology. Yeah, unless
Yeah,
somebody separates all the flashback stuff and puts it all together by itself.
that would be an
Um,
interesting
yeah,
thing.
which I think they should do for Saw. I would love for them to kind of piece everything and see what happens. But yeah, not a huge fan. I mean, the girls were fine. I mean, whatever. But and then part 4 is now a direct sequel to part 2. So it
Right.
goes 3, 1, 2, 4.
And that was the one I got confused about because I thought it was the Ghost Dimension one, but that was like, or not, the marked ones. So started watching the marked ones, and then I was like, wait, is there a 4? You know, and there was a number 4, and that had the girl that's in Freaky, Catherine Newton.
Yes. And it's, what did I compare it to? I said it was just a remake of one of them. Was it two? I think it was two.
Two had the girl as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because it scenes were almost identical.
It seemed like a sequel to
She's
that movie or whatever, like a
Yeah, because
remake
like
of that
she's the
movie.
main lead. She's got like the horny boyfriend. They're doing everything on the laptop. It just everything seemed to be the
Similar.
same. Yeah, but it didn't do as well.
She had a brother. Both of them had a brother too, right?
I think so. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just
and
like they took
then
the script from two and just plopped it over into four.
they're just like, well, three wasn't the greatest. It made a lot of money, but let's try to do number two again.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. I mean I wouldn't skip it if I did a marathon. And then five is the marked ones, which is the spinoff. That's the
And I
one
like
that
that one a
Christopher
lot.
Landon did direct.
Yes. And
That
that
one
was
I
the
also really
Hispanic
like.
one.
Yeah, which I
But
thought
the
was a
only thing you
smart
didn't
move.
like is the superhero aspect of it.
No, I did like the superhero aspect of it.
Did you?
Yeah, I loved it because it reminded me of like Brightburn. And
Who
Brightburn, I
told
think, is
me?
great.
I thought somebody said they didn't like it, but I thought it was you.
No,
Oh,
it's different. It's not a typical paranormal activity film, but it because he does have the superpowers.
okay.
But I did like it. Yeah. And so I thought that was pretty good. Um so now he's got, clout, and he skips Ghost Dimension, which is
So he doesn't work
five,
on Ghost Dimension.
at all. He may be listed
No,
as a producer just because, but
I
I
don't
don't think
think
he's on
so.
it at
I don't
all.
even think I saw his name on it at all.
But he didn't do Ghost Dimension because he was doing this. And that's Scout's Guide to
Scouts.
the Zombie Apocalypse, which he wrote
Scout's
and directed.
Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
So
That's the
this is,
title.
if you haven't seen it, it's very funny. It's very good. It's one of his best. Oh no, Jackey, what happened to your face?
I know.
I don't know.
You're
I was trying to do a background like Jonathan, and mine doesn't work out.
sorry.
Well,
I
see,
was
he kind
trying to
of
be
disappears a
cool.
little bit too.
I was trying to be
I
cool.
keep disappearing if I go like out of the
Why?
way of
Oh, you
oh
gotta like be super close.
yeah.
Yeah, even
Okay.
when you hold something, if you have a background, you got to hold it like that, otherwise it disappears.
I
Yeah.
hate these backgrounds, but I thought I'd be cool.
What does your
Hey,
background say?
It's my podcast that I have.
Oh, what
it's
is it?
called Heal.
Please
Oh,
promote.
It's called Healing Fucking Sucks. It's just like a psychology type of podcast. Basically, it's going through my healing journey and talking about mental disorders, anything from depression to there's a lot of stuff on narcissism on there right now, that type of stuff. So
Okay. And where can they find this?
it's on all podcast platforms everywhere. Yeah, I have doctors on almost every one of my episodes. I have more psychiatrists than I do anything right now. I do have a couple of therapists, psychologists. I have like one or two like mental health like advocates that come on that have like major followings online on TikTok or Instagram, but they're all really educated people and yeah, we talk a lot of shit.
I'll have to check it out then. So
But we also educate everyone. So
just
there
not
you
Tom
go.
Cruise. He's going to be the only guy that you're not going to be able to educate. So
She doesn't know about your love of Tom Cruise, by
oh
the
yeah,
way. Like
my love
he
of Tom Cruise. Yeah.
he
that's
has
all
a
Tom
man
Cruise.
crush on
Oh, I have a
Tom Cruise.
massive man crush on Tom Cruise.
So
Yeah.
who's your second favorite man crush?
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
Who I've
Jackie
worked with.
Jackie worked with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm learning all this cool
I
stuff
bet you
about
have
you.
the movie.
Which
It's
one?
Dog Eat Dog.
Which one?
Dog Eat Dog with Willem
I
Dafoe.
do. I do. It's in, no, I got that on Blu-ray, so it's over there. But yeah, this
I
is his
remember.
whole stack over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked on production. I'm in the credits of that if you look.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
recently bought that one. Yeah, probably a couple weeks ago. I picked that one up. So yeah, I'll
It's
definitely have to
not
check that out.
it's not good. It's like not good at all. And it's sad because the who is the director of that? He like directed Taxi or something like that.
Oh, Paul Schrader was the director on
Yeah.
that one. Yeah,
Creator.
yeah. Yeah, he wrote
And
Taxi
he
Driver.
wrote Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
Great.
shame.
yeah, it's a shame because he is a great. I've heard like a lot of his stuff's really good. So I
Well,
don't
To
know
be
working with
what.
honest,
Lindsay
I
Lohan will kill you.
I think it's because of his age. His mind just seemed kind of scattered at the time. So I don't know if it was something he was going through or if it was his age or what, but he was forgetting to do like simple stuff on set, like closing car doors when he would get out, and just a lot of little stuff that were very noticeable.
Hmm.
So I don't know, but he was super nice. I don't have anything bad to say about any of those guys. Willem Dafoe, he's really short. He's a small guy, and I thought he was like much bigger. I don't know why, but
He played Jesus Christ, didn't he? Am I correct on
Yes, he
that?
did in Last
He played
Temptation of Christ. Yeah.
Last Temptation of Christ.
Which I
Yes.
do believe is written by Paul Schrader.
Oh, there you go. So
Yeah.
there's a
nice.
Yeah.
connection there.
Nicolas Cage lives out here in Vegas.
Yeah. Oh, are you in Vegas?
Yes. I am right by the
Hmm.
strip, only about a mile away, probably.
Yeah, I made really good friends with his then makeup artist. And I actually moved out to Louisiana after we finished Dog Eat Dog to go assist her, but I'm not going to get into all of that. So, uh,
Well, there was also Chris Kim, who you introduced me to, who worked on, didn't you work on Dog Eat Dog as well?
no,
He didn't? How did you
no,
know him then?
Norman.
But never mind. I'm
Norman.
completely confused.
So my ex, Norman, used to hire Chris to work on all of his films,
But
but
he didn't work.
he did not work on Dog Eat Dog.
Okay. I thought he had some sort of, he had some connection to Nicolas Cage or something.
Well, yeah, they did, I think it was called like something worlds, three worlds, or
Oh, okay.
they did like three movies back to back with Nick.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. I know Through Roads. I think I own that one. Yeah.
I think it's called Three Worlds. It's called something worlds or Between Worlds. Between
That's
Worlds.
it. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
cool.
yeah, my ex Norman helped produce those things. God rest his soul if he's still alive. I don't know, nor do I care.
Well, we'll have to have you come back on when we do a video on Nick Cage then. So
Yeah.
go through all of his movies.
You do know
For
that he like is full of tattoos. Like he has both of his arms are full sleeves of tattoos, right?
no.
And they just cover all that up for all of his movies. Yep. He has two full arm sleeves of
Oh
tattoos.
wow. That's
Hmm.
funny.
And
And
see, she can give you lots and lots of information about him that you don't know because you
yeah.
haven't had the chance to meet him yet, I guess, you know.
No, I haven't run into him out here, and I actually have a script idea I would love for him to be in, but that's I don't know. How do you
He's
how do
doing
you get
any major
something to
movie.
Nicolas Cage?
You just need $1 million for your budget for your film. That's all you need.
Oh, just for him?
No, like $1 million. He's like doing these like $1 million budgeted movies.
I thought he stopped that once he paid off the government.
I don't know. Maybe he has stopped since then. I'm really not sure. I don't like check up on Nick Cage all the time, but he
You should.
It's not a habit. I mean,
I do know that hmm, it's like what do I say? I'm just gonna say it. He it was our first day of shooting and on Dog Eat Dog, and I guess the money that they offered him didn't hit his account that morning. So he doesn't tell anyone, and production gets ready for filming and everything. And he jumped
uh,
on a private flight back to Vegas and like cost production a lot of money because,
oh wow.
yeah. But then,
Wow.
there's some good things about him too. Like he eats a whole rotisserie chicken every day.
I could see that. I could see that happening.
That's an interesting tidbit of information.
I don't know.
I mean I did read something only a few days ago that said he's retiring. I don't know if
Mm,
that's true or not.
that's weird because, he filed bankruptcy. I don't know how many times you would think he needs the money for his lifestyle that he lives, but I don't know.
Well, that's what I heard is that he's done so many of these movies now, these like direct to video type of stuff, that he did pay back the government. He paid back the IRS, and now he's not going to do those type of movies anymore.
Well, good. You know what? Like overall, like Nick was like really fucking cool. And there was really no issues out of him at all. I mean, production was not happy when he left, but that wasn't coming out of my pocket. So I was just like, whatever, y'all didn't pay the man. So sayonara. But um yeah, you know.
Did they just shoot around him or no? They couldn't even
No,
shoot around him.
We didn't shoot it all that day.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
That's sucky, but you
This
know,
was in
and
Cleveland, Ohio.
Jeez.
well,
So wait, who were we talking about? It wasn't Nicolas Cage. Who?
Chris Landon?
Yes, thank you. Stay on target.
Stay on target.
Stay on
Yeah.
target. That's what I always do. Jonathan's done it a few times to me, but I always do it to him when we
But
go off
usually
on
he does
tangents
it to
that have,
me because usually my
has
brain goes
nothing to do with
ADHD.
anything. Then all of a sudden it's like, okay, stay on
We're talking about
target.
Nick Cage and a
Stay
Chris
on
Landon
target.
thing. I want to. You were saying about Two Simps or whatever the title. I think you should be like mostly talking about, you know, Chris Landon, but other things.
Well, we could go back to Scout's Guide. Has anybody seen Scout's
I
Guide?
haven't seen it. No,
I
I've
have
heard of
not.
it.
So it's obviously a zombie movie, and it takes place with scouts,
Like
and it's a
Boy
comedy.
Scouts or Girl Scouts?
Boy Scouts.
Mm.
See, there's the movie. Like, you know, he's got Boy Scouts,
See,
so it's
the Boy Scouts are there. They do meet up with a stripper.
Okay.
So they're very young, like teenagers, and she's like an older stripper. So they meet
once
up.
again a thing you can't probably do today.
Yeah, you can.
I don't know. Maybe
Except
not.
for I don't think you can call them strippers anymore. I think you have to call them like adult dance entertainers or something. But yeah,
Right.
you can still have. I mean, strippers are. I don't think they're frowned upon. I mean, shit. If I had the courage to go strip, I'd be on the pole right now. I need some money.
Well, she is the smartest person in the in the apocalypse. So
Well,
there is
see,
that.
Okay.
So yeah.
see,
And there's a couple of things some okay behind the scenes stuff on
So he
here.
directed this film?
Wrote and directed it, yeah.
Wrote and directed it. Awesome.
Yeah. Then after that, he did one that Jonathan and I have both seen. He only wrote this one though. Viral. Kind of a zombie movie in a way.
I like the cover. The cover
Yeah,
art. I like it.
that's it. Like that's not the movie at all.
There is a worm, and there is a part with a mouth. But yeah, this is it makes it look more like a sexual thing, and it's not.
And it's not.
It's
I
just
hate
how
when movies do that. I feel like super low budget films do that all the time to
Mhm.
just for someone to just pick up the movie and buy it.
Yeah. No, covers are there like that for that specific thing.
yeah, this is Jason Blum. Yeah, I believe he's one of the producers on it, and he's one of the screenwriters. But he got the "and" credit, so he probably rewrote the script.
Yeah.
It's not the squiggly.
Usually that's what happens when you have the
Yeah.
"and,"
But it's a
because
good
like
movie.
if it has the ampersand, it means they wrote it together. If it
Yeah.
has the "and," it usually means somebody rewrote it.
It's good though. I liked it. I thought it was a good kind of zombie
It
mind
was
control
it
type
had
of film.
it had great parts to it. I liked it.
What
I
I
enjoyed it.
what I like about him, and I've said this on other videos because I am so freaking tired of this. His stuff doesn't have toxic males, which I appreciate. Not every guy wants to rape somebody, and I'm so tired of this being in movies that it's nice to see people who, like Christopher McQuarrie and some of these other writers and directors who don't do that. Because we just reviewed Black Christmas, and the guy got thrown out of the sorority house for saying that he's not somebody who does that. Like they didn't
Right.
believe him, and then they throw him out. And it's like it's so refreshing to actually see writers and directors not show all men as being toxic, because they're not. It's a small group.
Mm-hmm.
So and this is one of those things where the guy's not like that to the girl.
Mm-mm.
So, doggy, what's your dog's name? Whoa.
You want to tell them your name, sir? This is Zeke.
Zeke?
Yeah, there's Bubby too somewhere back there. She has two Frenchies.
Bubby doesn't care about being in the camera.
Just don't Frenchie kiss them. Just like
Jonathan, that got weird for no reason.
the movie, but no, we're talking about the people who are all incestuous in the other movie.
That's incestuous. It's not bestiality. There's a difference.
They're both gross to me, you know?
Yeah, they are both gross, but I think bestiality is worse.
Mm.
What was that film that Bobcat Goldthwait made, where the girl goes down on her dog?
Oh, what?
I don't want to know.
Sleeping Dogs Lie. That's it. Sleeping Dogs Lie. Yeah. And then she stupidly tells people, and she's like an outcast. But yeah, she does that. That's the film. He makes good movies. It's actually a good movie, but it's a little bit of a disturbing thing. But yeah, this is from the producer of The Visit, which was bad, The Purge, which was good, and
I like The Purge,
which was good. Yeah. Did you see the last one? The Forever Purge?
No, I didn't.
It's all of the Purge movies are very political, and I like that. They're actually more lean to the left, which I like. And the last one it's all like Hispanics. So where each one kind of has its own thing. This is, I guess, because of Trump and immigration and the border and all that. This one is more of them hunting Hispanics, but then the Hispanics start fighting back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then it goes everywhere. Like it goes all over the world, and the Forever Purge is now just out there. There is no just like 24-hour period. So it's good. It kind of leads into the TV show a little bit. Which was also good. And then after that, so Viral is good. And then we have Happy Death Day. Happy Death Day.
1 and 2, right? Or do they do those back to back or no?
Back to back, yeah.
Okay. I liked Happy Death Day 1 better than 2. But I still like 2.
Second one. I just saw the first one. I've only seen the trailer to the second one. Yeah.
The second one got a little bit too weird for me. But I'm also friends with the guy who played the killer guy, like not the killer in the movie, but like the guy that they thought was the killer in the hospital. That's Rob Mello. And he's actually married to my co-host for 80s horror films, Rebecca Reinhardt. And yeah, so and he doesn't act anymore, I don't think. I think he quit acting. He just hates a lot of the industry and stuff. I think can't put words in his mouth, but I know he started doing like he works as like a cook or something, you know, like now instead of doing that. But he still acts in low budget horror films and things like that because he has fun working with like Rebecca, you know, and stuff like that. And I'm sure if I had the money or whatever, because he's a SAG actor, he has to be paid, you know, in scale at least. He would probably work with me if I had a project for him.
Well, I'm still only SAG eligible, Jonathan, so you know.
So I'm okay then. You know.
Yep.
I know that you don't know me very well, but would you be in one of my films? Could I get you to be in one of my films?
Probably.
AXEMAS has quite the legacy behind it.
I want to watch some of your stuff. I'm not going to say no. There's no way that your stuff is any worse than some of the shit I've been in. So
she's been in Donald Farmer.
I did see Dorm of the Dead, but I didn't want to say anything until now.
I almost thought she was going to gag. She usually gags when you say that word.
I started to gag. I like Donald Farmer, so I don't. Just in case, I've actually did interview him for one Filmmakers. So,
well, for any of your fans or people that do the same thing as you that are watching this, there's a lot that went behind that movie, and I was totally puppeteered. So he would sit there and read line for line to me and make me say every line a certain way, which is why my acting was so bad in that movie. But going back and watching it now, I'm like, everybody's acting was fucking terrible. It's just
was he giving line reading to everybody?
I don't know, because my scenes were shot mostly by myself. So it was normally just me and him and his cheap Walmart camera.
Okay.
And I was 18. I'm 36 now.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Almost 20 years. Jesus.
Wow.
I've literally known Donald since I was a baby. He was the second person I ever worked on a film with. The first one I worked on was this hillbilly something of another that was being shot in the woods out on the East Coast where I lived. And
And it
I
never
met,
got finished, right? Or something. It never got
no,
out there.
it got finished.
Is it out there?
They replaced me.
Oh.
I'm in the first half of it, and then they replaced me.
But you're still in the first half of the movie.
Yeah, I don't remember why I was replaced. I think maybe I had an issue with the director or something because he had never done anything, but he acted like he was like this crazy like Hollywood director and he was fucking annoying as shit. And if anybody knows young Jackie Hall, I just did not put up with any type of BS
You
like
know Jackey Hall at all.
so
You just
um
got Jackie hauled.
And then he invited a couple of film directors out to watch when we were shooting one day, and one of those directors just happened to be Donald Farmer, and I have literally been friends with him for 20 years, and he I just talked to him on the phone actually a couple of days ago. I haven't talked to him on the phone in like 10 years, so yeah.
Did he tell you about Darby's
Mhm.
Scream House and how excited he is for that? I actually can't wait to just see it. I just want to see it. And I'm friends with all the actors involved, so I'm just kind of, excited. I love that he's continuing to make his stuff. But we reviewed Shark Exorcist, which, by the way, she was asked to be in.
I was asked to star in that, yeah.
There's a sequel, you know.
Yeah.
There's
Did you
there's part two.
you never saw Chainsaw Cheerleaders?
I own it, but I haven't watched it yet. I own a few of his movies, but I haven't.
It's better than Dorm of the Dead for sure.
Well, you get to see me doing basically my own acting, which wasn't the best at the time, but I wasn't being puppeteered, so it's a lot better than
Yours character was more fun than everybody else's because
yeah.
your character was like the dumb, dumb, dumb one,
I
you
was a
know,
dumb cheerleader, but it was
like the
fun.
dumb blonde cheerleader kind of,
I helped.
thing.
I'm the one that put that whole movie together. I got the funding for it. I found the producer for it. It was my hello, Donald. You made everybody think I was a horrible actress, so now you're gonna help me make this fucking movie so I can act in it. That's what that movie was.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, then I'll
Donald
have to watch
knows.
it.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I'll have
Yeah.
to watch it. I think I have the original and the remake. I have a few of his originals and remakes. I know I have like Vampire Cop. I have
Okay.
We did that for Indie Film Cafe. That was fun.
I know I have probably like 10 of his movies, but I just haven't watched them all. There's just this is nothing. I mean, out there is I probably have like well over 1,000 movies.
If you're anything
So
like Jonathan, I know Jonathan roomed with me, and I was just like,
oh
why
well,
do you have all these movies?
look at these are all movies.
Oh my
All
God.
this is my dining room table.
Oh my
Jackie,
God.
you
They're
didn't even
all up there.
see
I mean,
all of my stuff because most of my
I
movies were
know.
at the freaking studio.
look at that.
Yeah, well, but the closet space that you had was full of
That's true because I couldn't
movies.
put everything in my room.
Hmm. It
Yeah,
Oh
was
man,
crazy.
I missed rooming with Jackie. I thought that it was some of the most fun we've ever had. In fact, she did a podcast with me just recently on her podcast, and we are just giving all the deets about everything that went down. I don't know if you've even edited that completely or not, but it was
It's
we
so long, my computer's giving me a hard time editing it right now, but there's definitely some shit in there I can't leave on it if I'm gonna air it, so it's gonna have to let me edit it.
so that's why you got to get into the habit with Jonathan. Stay on target. Stay on
No, there's no
target.
staying on target with Jonathan. If you go back and listen to any podcast I've done with him, I get all of his guests off. Every single one. I get them off topic, don't I?
Yeah. No, we both are like that. So put us both together, it's not no. No.
Nope.
Just like this.
All
Yep.
right,
We were
so
talking
okay,
about Chris
so stay
Landon.
on target.
Chris Landon, this is like the fifth time we've done this. Chris Landon, everybody.
So we like Happy Death Day. This is a good one. The actress's name in this is Tree. I don't know who decided to name her Tree. I guess Christopher Landon, but I don't
A
even
tree
know.
hugger?
Just Tree. I'm not even sure if it's spelled like tree. It
No,
might be
I'm
spelled
saying
something
like,
different.
you're saying who names a person tree. I said a tree hugger.
Jonathan.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. I wasn't even paying attention to you when you were saying those things.
Okay, keep going.
Which then means
Jonathan's only ever seen a tree hugger once, and we're not
A
going to go
real
off,
tree hugger.
but he's only ever seen it once. So,
The like, guy was literally hanging in a tree. And Jackey was the one who had to point it out to me because I wasn't paying attention.
well, pay attention to this because now we have Happy Death Day to You, the sequel,
To You, the sequel.
which is more science fiction than horror.
Yeah, it was fun, but it wasn't, I don't know. It went a little bit too weird, and so it wasn't my cup
I
of
what
tea.
makes
do
it
have
weird?
They do a little bit of time travel and
well,
some
it,
other
it
stuff.
tells you why she's doing what she's doing in the first movie.
Right.
It
But
goes
through like
into
time
that.
travel and stuff. It's
Yeah.
just
He's
got a
trying to
little,
figure out how all this started, right?
right.
There's supposed
Yeah.
to be a third. So I'm hoping at some point there's a part three because it does end on a cliffhanger with them working with the government and the machine that they
Okay.
use. The one thing I hated in this, and when I do watch it, I scan right over it, is the mean girl that was in the first one
Mm,
becomes nice because they're in like an alternate reality in this one. And I'm
mm.
guessing the actress said, I need to have a scene by myself where I have a French accent and I
Okay.
have 10 minutes of me being basically like Charlie Chaplin or just completely being like a goofball. And it serves
Mm,
really no purpose in the film except for her to get keys from I think it's the dean's pocket.
okay.
And it's just her being like, "Oh, Dean, you love me," and she like collapses on him, and he doesn't know what to do, and it's just all this nutty stuff where it's like, I bet the only way you could get this actress back is if you gave her that scene because nobody else has a
Oh,
scene like
yeah.
that.
Okay. So the budget was $9 million and it grossed 64 million,
Part two?
600 and 152. Yeah. So
Wow.
I mean, it was a success in the form of like it made money, but I guarantee you, like Blumhouse was like, most of our movies make at least 100 million, not 60 million,
Mm,
so it's a little bit disappointing. So that's probably why they didn't greenlight a third, quickly. But
Unfortunately.
anyway,
And then what is after that is a film that all of us have watched. No, no, yes, 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 a film that all of us have watched, and that's Freaky.
yeah, you said you saw
freaky.
Freaky. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Very
And
I
good.
so
love
that you loved it?
Vince Vaughn. I love Vince Vaughn. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
good.
He was at the same party that I met Vin Diesel at. He's so conservative. It's amazing. He was arguing, of course, he's towering over
Yeah,
everybody.
I'm like, he's huge.
Yeah. And he's fighting about, politics with all these, like liberals around him.
Oh my
And
God.
it's funny him just trying to make these, um, make these points. But a year before I moved down to LA, my friends, like five of my friends, were friends with him,
Hmm.
um, Noah Wiley, John Favreau. This is before they became anybody. This is around like the Rudy time and all
Yeah,
Okay.
of
so
that.
right before Swingers.
Yeah, yeah, or they were doing Swingers at the time,
So that would be
and
Hmm.
97, 98-ish.
yeah, so Spielberg had seen it was kind of the same thing with Vin Diesel. Spielberg had seen Swingers and contacted and called Vince Vaughn while they were at my friend's house. I missed this by a year. I'm so mad because I would have been there. And Spielberg said, "Hey, do you want to do Jurassic Park 2?" And he said, "Yeah." So when he hung up, he just ran in a circle around everybody, just yelling, "I'm going to be chased by dinosaurs. I'm going to be chased by dinosaurs. I'm going to be chased by dinosaurs." He was so happy
Oh my
because
God,
they
I
used to
can,
be
man,
part
I
of
want
a
to see that. Like somebody should make a biopic on Vince Vaughn and put that in there.
yeah, they had like a big kickboxing team. Not kickboxing, I'm sorry, kickball team, which we still think dodgeball. They got dodgeball from that,
Maybe.
and but yeah, so that's. I mean, I have a little kind of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon type of thing with him. So, but very funny film, very funny. So
I really enjoyed it. I love Catherine Newton, the main girl from it. She later on became your least favorite kind of thing, as she's in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania as
Oh
Cassie
my
Lang.
God, she's the daughter, isn't she?
She is the daughter.
That's
Yes, I
such a
think you
Mary
said this the
Sue.
last time we talked
Such a
about
Mary
this.
Sue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I
she
hate that.
is
She was voted as one of the worst characters of last year.
well, she was, whatever. She played her part as well as she could.
I
A
like
lot of
the
it
actress, I just don't like the character.
yeah.
So yeah,
But she did a great job in Freaky. Probably one of my favorite
yeah.
performances of hers. I liked her in that. She was great in Supernatural. Bunch of other stuff that she's done. So I'm very glad she was supposed to do a spinoff of Supernatural, and they didn't do it, right? It never happened. And I'm kind of glad because I mean, then she got to be in the Marvel stuff. Like, there's making much more money, than she
More
probably,
money. More money.
and good
More
for her. Like,
money.
she wanted to do something. She wanted to enjoy something that she did. So
Well, there you go.
whatever.
So now we're back to Paranormal Activity, and it's
So you did,
Paranormal Activity Next of Kin is the one that he
yeah,
did after that.
the last Paranormal Activity so far.
Yes, and he wrote that. So which was I liked it. I enjoyed it. I've seen it twice, and I do like it. So I think once again bringing him back was a good choice. Um, and then after that, he did a film that he just produced called My Best Friend's Exorcism, which is
Why
based
do
on
I
a
feel like I've seen that?
it's based on a book, and it's on Amazon Prime.
What year did that come out?
Uh 2022.
No, I don't think I have seen that. I stopped watching exorcism movies around that time. But I used to watch any movie that was like exorcism of whatever.
Yeah, this is a comedy.
Oh, well,
It's a
maybe I
Um,
can.
yeah, it's a supernatural horror comedy.
I've seen the poster. It's like very vivid or something, right? Like, if I'm correct, like,
It's
wasn't it like
not a the poster that I'm clicking on from Wikipedia, it's one of those like hearts, and it's that you could pull apart, and there's an upside down cross, and it's got the two girls, and it just says my best friend's exorcism. So it's not very creative, but I like the upside down cross part.
well, you like the upside down crosses and all these. Yeah, it is sort of vivid because
I
I
really should
remember
have
this
one up on
being
my
like
wall.
with the yellow lettering or whatever,
Yeah. Is
So
that the other doggy?
yes, that should be
Yes.
that's Louis, aka Bubby.
Bubby.
We are very
Hmm.
pet friendly on this channel. So I've interviewed people before where just a cat will run by. They'll be like, "Oh, do you want me to say that again?" The cat run by. It's like, no, it's very
I'm
friendly.
so glad my cat doesn't run by because he might have been on one of my shows,
Well,
you
you've
know.
had where my cat Boris will hop up on here and just kind of
Yeah.
walk around and put his butt right up here with the tail. It's like, get down, Boris, get down. What are you doing? Um,
Animals are the best.
Louis would come hang out with me when I'm sleep in my bed. He would want to wake up when I woke up. I woke up to him staring at me saying, "Come, let me come up there and cuddle with you."
Mm-hmm.
So
oh,
he
cool.
can't wait to see me in less than 2 weeks, can you?
Yeah, Uncle John's gonna be here, huh? What do you say about that?
He's
Uncle
like,
John.
okay.
And now the next one is, I love this film. I just watched it. I didn't think I was going to like it. We Have a Ghost.
We have a ghost.
We
It's
have
on
a
My my mom watched that.
Okay.
this,
Yeah.
this, We Have a Ghost. Jackey, have you seen We Have a Ghost? It's
I
Netflix.
have. Don't think so. Is it a comedy?
Yes.
It's a supernatural comedy. I loved it from the movie began. It's it's the backwards of what Eddie Murphy said in Delirious, where he's like, white people stay in the house with the ghost, but if black person hears the ghost, they're like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm out of here.
I'm
This
out.
is
I'm
the
done.
opposite. They
Okay.
stay. And the
They
Wait,
stay.
ghost,
I have seen it.
David Harbour, he doesn't talk.
Yeah.
He's the ghost who doesn't talk.
Yep,
Well,
I've
I
that's
seen it.
funny that they have two Marvel people in it because they also have the guy who plays the new
Yeah,
Captain
Mackie.
America, Anthony Mackie, yeah.
Yeah.
And
And everybody in this is good. I think it's the best thing that David Harbour's done because I'm
the
not a
guy
huge
who plays
fan.
Jesus, I know him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I looked him up. I looked up who was in the movie, and it goes Nicholas X. Parsons. I was like, I know Nick, like we were supposed to work together. He's from Virginia, and I guess he lives down in Florida where they were shooting this, and got to play the Jesus that, comes and has a couple good scenes. At first you
Yeah.
just see him like staring. It's just so silly.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, just Jesus staring through the window.
Could you
But
imagine just Jesus staring at you?
I think if Ghostbusters 2016 was not just a complete retread of the original Ghostbusters, if it was more grounded, like
Mhm.
Afterlife, if it was the family that has the ghost, and then the Ghostbusters have to go to the house, and it's just the one ghost or maybe two, and you're not ripping anything off. You're not having like the cameos, you're not doing any of that. You're just making a smaller Ghostbusters movie that's completely original. Because I kept thinking this through this, like, wow, this would have made a good Ghostbusters movie. I think it probably would have done much better and probably would have been a hit, because then it did become grounded in Afterlife. It was the
Mhm.
kids at the farm, and and they kind of, so that's, yeah, I think if they just would have stuck with that, it probably would have been a much better movie.
Okay,
Because
so this is gonna
I thought it
be
was
weird.
horrible.
This is gonna be weird, but I gotta actually plug in my computer while we do this show, so my face is gonna get off here real quick, but you know,
Well,
we'll see.
we're
But
almost done, actually. We only have
but
one
no,
film
it's
left.
okay because otherwise I don't know when it's going to cut off on me, and I don't want it to do that right now. It's at 22%. So I don't want to if it's like 10 if it's 15% or less, I don't want it to cut off on me. So I'm gonna just do that.
Do
Or
you
can you
edit
guys
your
still hear
podcast?
me?
I'm
He
sorry.
does.
You edit your podcast?
No.
No, not at all.
Nope. Beginning to end.
I have to edit some of mine because mine's more of on like I have like doctors on my show. So, uh,
She's got more professionals, is what she's saying.
Yeah,
I'm not,
the only
I'm not
time that I
saying
did,
that.
I mean, the only
Joking
time that
on
I
you.
did edit is there was a filmmaker that I was interviewing on One Film, One Filmmaker, and it's pretty free form. You could say what you want and do what you want. I don't really care. But this
Mhm.
was bad. Like, this was just trashing people. And it's like,
Uh,
no,
yeah.
I
You don't
can't.
want that on you don't want that on your show. If he
No.
No,
wants to go
because
do that himself, then
yeah,
whatever. But
so I did have to do some editing on that one
I
just
think
to
I
cut
know what
out.
you're talking about too.
Yeah. And it's because I have people coming back. I've had people on there 3 times, 4 times,
yeah,
so I don't want. It's not a place to trash people. It's just a
Mm-mm.
so it's yeah. So
there's other
now,
podcasts for that. I think that people just get on and trash other people, but
yeah, I had one with Alan Maxim, and he's like a creature performer, but he
okay,
directed a couple movies. Alien Planet's his new one. He played one of the heads of King Ghidorah in the
okay.
Godzilla King of Monsters. And we're in the middle of the interview, but I could see down his hallway, and
Oh no.
there's a door. The bell goes off, and he goes, "Oh, hey, that's FedEx. I need to go get that. Do you want to pause this?" And I'm like, "No." And I could see him go down to the hall. He gets the package. He walks back, and I'm just talking about his movie. And he's like, "Did you cut any of that?" I'm like, "No, no. I just talked about your film."
I feel
And
like
then
most podcasts don't cut anything unless it's real bad. I mean, if I have to get up and go to the restroom or something like that, I cut that out of my podcast because I have doctors on my show. They have other doctors listening, and I don't really know how they feel about it. I've gotten more lenient, like if I need to just like if I'm talking to my dogs because I need to let them out or something, like typically I'll leave that in. But um if it's also something that comes up that's like political, I'm gonna cut that out. If it because you just never know what side people are on. And I don't want to offend anyone. And
sure,
yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't want any of that on my show. So
As
it's
I
better to
I
stay
feel
away
like
from
a
that.
lot of them they shouldn't like unless it is a political podcast, that shouldn't be the thing. you know. Though, I mean, if it's a political movie we're discussing, like we did The Hunt, and so we
We did get
discussed,
political with that.
we did get a little political with that, or Black Christmas. You have to get political
Oh, that was
when you're
very
kind of,
political.
yeah,
And
you
I'm a
have to
very
talk about that.
political person. I love talking politics.
I
Yeah,
think
and
that's
certain
why we're
people,
different.
there's certain people that, that do. I'm just, since my podcast is about helping people and trying to help people through, mental disorders and really hard times in their lives, I don't want to stray anyone away from getting help that they deserve because of an opinion that me or someone else may have politically. That's just it. So,
Sure. It was
because
difficult when I first started doing this stuff. Is I did get a little political, and I
yeah.
stopped it because my co-host Donald, we have he came with me with an idea called film discussion, where we just talk about anything that we want. And
Hmm.
so at the and he is a Trump supporter. And
Yeah.
he even had a sticker up on his wall that said, like Trump Pence. And he goes, "Do you want me to remove that?" And I'm like, "No, just leave it up, dude. That's you." I think he chose to take it down, but I did every once in a while. I got in that, and I didn't
Hmm.
mean to, but it just happened. And then I
Yeah.
kind of forced myself to stop.
It can easily happen, especially if you're like passionate about it. I get that. I just feel like it's a topic that just really can tear people apart for really stupid reasons, honestly.
Yeah.
When we're at a time in our country right now when we should be all trying to come together to make America a better place, and yeah, I don't know. I don't like all the fighting and negativity that it can cause, and I don't want that juju, that energy on my stuff. So if you can handle it and you like that stuff, you go for it. I just don't want it on mine.
Only if
Mhm.
it's a political show. I won't do it anymore. So no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, like I mean, I think there was a time where you invited me on to a podcast that you were going to be talking smack about something certain, John, and I was like, I don't want to be involved just because I don't, because
We
even
never ended up doing it because
really,
yeah, because it was trashing Disney.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
Mm,
but I
trashing
don't want to be a
Disney and
part of that
Star
just
Trek
because
and all
I
that.
don't want to like I don't want
that
somebody to
could
try to
that could
use that
ruin
against
further
me.
jobs for you guys.
Right. And that I don't want to use that. I don't want people to use that against me,
Right.
and say, well, this person said this about Disney, so why does he want to work for them? I don't want to necessarily. I just want jobs, in the film industry. And
Well,
if,
that's why we
you
didn't
know,
do it. That's why
yeah,
it was. I think Disney angered me with something, and it was just like I want to do this. Let's just
and it was the
destroy
Marvels and
Disney
all that stuff, and how it
off of
was
it.
flopping and whatnot. And I get it, and I get the discussion, but for me, it would have been just trying to bring light into something that, and then it probably wouldn't have worked. There would be no light. So I was like, nah, never mind. But I appreciated the offer to come on because I do support Marvel and I do support Star Wars and I do support Disney. I think like they've been sort of,
Mm.
for a couple years now, been kind of going downhill where
I
they
I
need to go
I
back
shouldn't
up.
say anything as I'll go on a tirade. I know.
I know.
I can tell that he's itching right now,
Yeah,
Jonathan.
he's literally like
and that
scratching
and
himself.
now that Disney produces Doctor Who,
Oh,
which
no,
I've been
I know.
watching since Tom Baker. So,
Uh,
no, that like since
the
the early
times have
80s.
changed. Times have changed,
Ugh.
people,
And
for
Disney's
sure.
just trying to buy everything now. It's just a
Well, they can because they have a fuckload of money.
Well, do they anymore? I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well,
They're
it doesn't
losing
look like
money.
Disney. It doesn't look like Disney's about to go bankrupt anytime soon.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see. They got that lawsuit from 9,000 women.
Oh,
What?
I didn't know
I didn't
about
hear
that.
9,000,
about that.
yeah, 9,000 women did the same exact job that men did, and then the men were paid higher. So there's
Oh,
actually a class action lawsuit against Disney
well, they
for
just
that.
need to cut some checks out and make things right and go about their day.
There you go. There you go. So,
Oh, we'll see. I mean, but anyway,
yes.
Give all these
So
women jobs again and pay them more money. Like,
stay on target.
make it right.
stay on target.
I feel
I
like
don't
you're
th-
a robot when you guys say that.
well, no,
Target.
it's from Star Wars.
It's the from A New Hope is one of the guys in the when they're going into the Death Star
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
all the guns are firing. One of the guys just goes, "Stay on target,
I've
stay
seen
on
all the
target."
Star Wars movies, so I don't know why I don't remember that.
It's such a
You try to
brief little
block it out
thing.
because it was when you were with Norman, so you don't want to.
You know, I'm not gonna say that that's not accurate, but I enjoy Star Wars movies, so I don't know.
Yeah, they're still fun, you know. But anyway, all right, moving on.
Star Wars, I can't. If
All
George
right,
Lucas's name is attached, I'm fine. Anything else, no. I can't. No. If it says Kathleen Kennedy, forget it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm even movie political. So it's so on top of being Washington political, I'm Hollywood political.
Well, that's
uh,
fine. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people are.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
All right, so
so our
Margaret,
last
Landon, what else do we got?
we have
Do we have
one
Ghost?
which I think might be his best film. And so the last one's one that it hasn't come out yet, and he's only a producer. It's called Time Cut. That's the
when
last
does
one
it come
that's
out?
listed. I don't think it has a date. Let me double check here. No date. It just says not a writer, not a director. Yes, on producer.
Okay.
So,
All right,
and that's it. I'm not really seeing. Yeah, there's nothing else.
all right.
Interesting.
Well, then
So
there
that's
you
it.
go. His career is sort of still, flourishing. As we talked about before earlier, um, he was attached to direct Scream 7, but he left 7. You said 7 weeks or 7 months?
He said it's weird because all this stuff is mixed around. Is he's now saying it was 7 weeks ago.
7 weeks
He
ago.
just didn't say anything. But with both actresses leaving, he's now saying, "Oh yeah, I left too because it was a nightmare." But I left 7 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then everybody was, oh man. So the one thing I do want to discuss, is because he got into like some big fucking tweet issues and stuff. People are
X.
attacking him
A
on
lot of trolls.
Twitter, X. Okay, so Twitter, it's tweeting. Is Xing?
You're Xing.
It just sounds weird to say. All right. Uh,
I guess it would still be a tweet. I
I
I
guess
don't think
get.
so. It's
I
not
guess for
Twitter
now.
anymore.
But
I mean,
everybody calls it Twitter. I don't know anybody who calls it X.
I know.
I've
But
even seen conservatives who like Elon Musk. They won't even call it X. They just call it Twitter.
it's honestly, I'm not for or against Elon Musk, but I like his entrepreneurship, but X is a bad name for it. It doesn't flow like Twitter did. Yeah.
all right. So his tweet or X or whatever you want to call it, says, I guess now is a good time as any to announce I formally exited Scream 7 week. I don't think it was 7 weeks ago. I think it just says weeks ago. I think the way he said it makes it look like it was 7 weeks ago, but it said Scream 7 weeks ago.
Oh, maybe that's what. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was
So this will
exiting.
disappoint some and delight others. It was a dream job that turned into a nightmare, and my heart did break for everyone involved. Everyone. But it's time to move on. I have nothing more to add to the conversation other than I hope Wes's legacy thrives and lifts above the din of a divided world. What he and Kevin created is something amazing, and I was honored to have even the briefest moment basking in the glow. Now I know some people like said stuff to him. And one
Yeah,
person said, uh, he said he had the right to. I said I absolutely have a right to my privacy because hold on, wait. Somebody said you didn't fire her, but you did literally ask people on Twitter to shut the fuck up about it, and you refused to support the woman who is supposed to play the lead in your fucking movie because you're scared to lose your job. I'm afraid that's no better than firing because he said I didn't fire her. Do your homework, honey. And this was 'cause, I mean, people were. I mean,
You
he
can
got
talk
into
like
it.
that on X?
And I guess you can show nudity on X, so
Oh,
it,
I am like not in that world because just having like the three social medias is too much for me, so I didn't know.
right. Um, so he goes, again, you don't know what happened or what my private response was to everyone involved. And I asked people who are literally sending me death threats and even threatening the lives of my children to stop. So yeah, I told people to stop attacking me for something I didn't do. Because he never fired Melissa or Jenna or anyone else. And Jenna quit, but I think Jenna quit after um, I think she quit beforehand anyway because she was too busy with Wednesday, doing the show Wednesday on Netflix.
Well, what we all thought was she quit after the other sister
Right.
because she got fired, and she was using Wednesday as an excuse.
Yeah, that was what we thought, but I think she quit beforehand, and then
That's when
this was
people
just
started putting stuff together. Like Christopher Landon quit first, then it became Jenna Ortega.
so. This person said, I don't deny there are messed up people out there that neither you nor your family deserve all those crazy threats. But when you are a publicly known person, a private response to your lead being fired for standing against his side isn't enough. And he goes, I absolutely have a right to my privacy and personal approach to this impossible situation. I owe the public nothing. I'm a human being, and as much as Melissa has the right to her beliefs, I have a right to my own and a right to choose when and where to share them, period. And then she goes, oh, well, this told me everything I needed to know. Thank you for giving me some of your time and have a nice rest of your day. Wherein everybody went off on her for that, this person, for like attacking her. And then when he said I have to absolutely have the right to my own privacy and my personal approach and everything, somebody said this is just him saying he's a Zionist.
Zionist, yeah.
And then he goes, actually not, but this is a troll's response to my privacy. So he's good with handling it, but he's becoming a little too James Gunny. I love James Gunn, but sometimes I'm like, dude, just get off Twitter. Stop replying to these people. You're just making things sort of worse for yourself
I
because people are.
agree and disagree with him. If you are a public figure, if you're Tom Hanks, you can get criticism. You're a public
Mm,
figure. You're
yeah.
putting yourself out there. You can. If somebody does something bad, you're allowed to comment on it. So saying and plus he did make those statements on Twitter X for he didn't have to.
Right.
If he didn't say anything, then that's it. Like he doesn't have to say, shut the F up.
Mm,
That's it's not necessary to say that. Just don't say anything.
mm.
Or just make a statement. Sad to announce that I've left Scream 7 and just leave it at that.
Yeah, I never saw anything where he's told people to shut the fuck up about it. Like,
It was his
I
very
mean,
first tweet that he did. It's like that's the one that says like it wasn't my like I wasn't part of the following. Shut up, drop it, leave your whatever he says. It was the very first one that he did.
yeah, he needs. See, I mean, when you're a public figure and everything, you're saying these things, people are gonna use that against you, and
They're
everything.
gonna
And
use anything against you either way. And if you don't speak out as a public figure and put your truth, your statement, whatever that may be out there, people are still gonna speculate and make up shit anyways.
mhm, it's true. So, and that's where rumors get started. That's where, and the rumors become like almost like truth to people, these days.
Well, and then these people, like let's say Jonathan Majors, for example, went out and did that fake video of him saving a woman, where it's like two women who got into a fight and then he breaks it up, and it was so obviously fake. You know, uh, that
Was it
probably
like a
didn't.
publicity stunt?
Yeah, because he was going to court.
Okay.
So they wanted to show, oh no, look, he's not the big bad mean man that everybody says he is. He just
Ooh,
started a
that's
fight
not
between
good.
two women. But it
I
was
didn't know he
so
did that.
obviously changed. Yeah, it was just all obviously put together. Because wow, he just
Yeah.
happened to be walking by or driving by these two women that are in a fight.
And caught on tape. you know,
Yeah.
at the exact same time that he's walking by and no, fuck, dude. That doesn't look good on you.
No.
Whatever publicist he had, maybe he did because he did lose his publicist because of all the stuff that, happened or whatever. But so I don't
I
know. I
at first I was like, I don't know, is the guy, is this a Johnny Depp thing?
Right.
But then I watch a YouTube channel where the guy completely broke down everything from, we're talking like years ago with majors up to present day. And it's like, if this is true, this is bad. This guy's never going to work in Hollywood again.
Yeah.
So it's
And
like,
if that guy can find all that research, for a YouTube channel, imagine what like a court can find and all that stuff,
yeah,
Like,
you just can't do this type of stuff. Like you mentioned James Gunn, he had his, what, that tweet from, was it now probably like 12 years ago,
yeah, maybe longer.
that got him, yeah, kicked out of Marvel, and then they started bombing, and then they're like, please come back and do Guardians.
Well, then they saw like him going to DC and they're afraid, like, it's like breaking up with a girlfriend and then finding out like the girl, that she's starting to date your arch nemesis, and
Yeah.
stuff. And they're like, come back to me, so you're not dating that horrible person that's gonna start spreading rumors about me, you know, and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt bad, when that happened. But
I think with somebody like, especially probably nobody really knows who Christopher Landon is. They know the films like, Happy Death Day, and Freaky, but I don't think they actually know him.
yeah,
So to say that, of course we don't know him, but so I don't mean it that way. But he's not like Robert De Niro or Joaquin Phoenix or something. Like you mentioned their names and people know who they are instantly. But if you go, oh, Christopher Landon, people are gonna go,
or
huh,
Johnny
what?
Depp, Johnny Depp's name
Yeah. And
automatically.
so
But
to attack him, like, oh well, now he's showing his, now he's being a Zionist.
well,
And
they've been saying this for a while because he worked with Vince Vaughn. So they were saying because he worked with Vince Vaughn, he was a Zionist. This has been a rumor going around for a while and stuff. So I think it's BS crap, that people are just trying to attack people for their anyway, even if he is, then fuck, let him be whoever he fucking is, man. Like, I once again I don't like I'm not political. And Jackey knows this. And you know this. I am non-political. I'm not either right or left or in the middle. I'm nothing. I'm literally don't give a fuck about politics, but it's shoved in my face all the fucking time. I'm sick of it, you know?
just they just need to watch. I mean, I would think that they would criticize him more for hanging out with Vince Vaughn because he's a conservative, you know.
Well, they say Vince Vaughn's also a Zionist. I don't know.
What is
But
a
that
sign?
it's somebody who supports Jewish people.
Okay.
I mean, isn't that what? So wasn't that the problem that they had with Melissa? Was that she was her remarks seemed anti-Semitic?
Yeah.
So
So she was on the other side of it.
of it, so she wasn't a Zionist.
No.
So now it's bad. Which one's bad? Like,
Yeah.
It depends
Like
on
I
who
thought we
you,
were.
so the whole thing with conservatives and like Israel is the Bible. In the Bible, that is where the end of the world happens. So
Yeah.
conservatives pretend to care about Jewish people when they don't. It's a Christianity thing because they want to protect Israel because of the end of the world and Christ coming back. That's the whole thing.
I just like Jesus.
That's
I
funny
mean,
because I can't see you. Just your that
I've
that's
disappeared.
that's pretty much what it is. Both
Yeah,
sides are
Christians are
bad.
supposed to protect the Jews.
But yeah, and we're I think we're supposed to love everybody. That was the whole that's what I got from my Christianity stuff. We're
Well,
not
yeah, but I mean specifically though, like, he said in the Bible, like it specifically talks about how we're supposed to protect the Jews.
well, I mean, Jesus was Jewish, so
Yeah.
supposedly.
Supposedly, who knows?
But not on a conservative as well. It's he's white.
I thought he was brown.
He would be brown, but you know.
Actually, I so most of my family is on the conservative side. I'm not a lefty or a righty. But yes, a lot of the traditional churches do think that Jesus is white, but a lot of them know now that he's not.
So are they now kind of going with that, like saying, okay, well, I mean, because it was Israel and all that stuff. Like it was that area
He's
and
he's dark skin, like Arab
yeah.
skin. Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't be. He's not black. He's brown.
No, he's not
Yeah.
black, he's not white. Yeah, he was tan, like really dark tan skin. Yeah.
So, you know, but that's unless you're Mormon, then you think that Jesus is actually a Native American that came from like Missouri.
You know what? Tomato, tomato. At this point, I'm done fucking even trying to understand.
It's all
Jesus is
about its
Jesus.
land. It's all
I don't
about
care
land.
what skin color he was. If you want to make him orange, purple, yellow, gray, I don't care.
You
Just,
want to make him Barney?
no, Barney scared me. I don't want to do that.
Barney scared you?
Yeah, I didn't like Barney growing up. I hated the color purple, which is weird because it's like my favorite color now, but he scared me, and I guess rightfully so because he was a pedophile. So,
What? Barney was a pedophile? What is that? What does that mean? The guy who played Barney?
We've gotten way
yeah.
off target on this one.
I'm coming back on. Hold on. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, there
Hanging
was
out with
like all
Jared.
these allegations with Barney like messing with children.
Oh, like that's ew. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what I expected to hear, but anyway, to go back to Christopher Landon, who
Yeah,
Target.
I
Stay on
think this
target.
was pretty much wrapped up a while ago.
I know,
Yeah.
but we're going on, man. This is like the last act of the Hunger Games, new
Just
Hunger
never
Games.
ends.
We're just yeah, they're like, wait, I thought you were done. Nope, you're gonna keep
No, because
going.
we
No.
had to make it a two-parter, so let's make it as
Uh,
long as possible because we have nothing else to
Hmm.
say. So,
um,
so Jackie, what have you learned about Christopher Landon?
Um, well, he's gay.
well,
I
that's one
didn't
thing.
know.
Well, that he is.
I didn't know and I wouldn't know because I don't like really study film directors like you guys do. I don't know. I don't know. I've just never really like done the deep dive. That how he got into I was doing a lot of reading while you guys were talking too, and I was reading like how he got started at 6 years old writing shorts. And so that's how he ended up like getting his start and just putting he went to like a film festival, like a little film circuit thing. And a director there was like, "Hey, do you have anything for me?" And kind of that's how he got started. I love those stories. Those are like cool little like magical moments for people in film because not everybody gets that, you know?
Right.
I learned that he basically saved paranormal activity. So with
Yeah,
his
yeah, definitely.
writing. Yeah. I learned that what was it called? Palm Desert?
Oh yeah, Burning Palms.
Burning Palms, yeah.
Palm Desert. Burning Palm.
That's
I
the
learned that
sequel.
I learned that Burning
Oh
Palm
God, I hope not.
should have been burned. And I was reading about that, and actually, he was saying that the characters that he did in that movie are based off of statistically families out of California, all in different areas, like from the Bay Area, from Hollywood, like a lot of different areas. There's like 5 different areas. So I kind of thought that was weird.
So did he like know people like this or something? Like,
I don't know if he knew them because the interview didn't go into that,
see,
but
this is where you need to interview him and talk about Burning Palms. I know you might not want to, but like that should be what your discussion, your two filmmakers talking one film, and it's the movie that he probably doesn't want to talk about, but like I mean, if he says his side, maybe I don't know. I probably still would hate it. I don't know. That's a hard movie.
I just don't
Um,
think there'd be anything to make me like it. I really don't. I felt dirty. I took a shower afterwards.
Yeah, as Paul says, you need to take 37 showers. I don't know why he says 37.
37 showers.
Yeah, but he always says that.
Not 36, not 38, but 37.
37.
Like he took
37?
15.
Okay, so right here it says, oh, hold on. Where'd it go? You guys talk for a minute and I'll find it.
Um, I did see him. I did see he posted a thing on Twitter talking about urban legend. So that was interesting. And he talked about the writer of urban legend and how addiction caused that writer, Sylvia Horto, to like apparently be blacklisted from the entertainment industry and everything. So he kind of feels bad every time he sees the poster for Urban Legend because he thinks of how sad it is that a friend of his, somebody he knew and loved, unfortunately got, you know, because of this, because of terrible addiction issues and stuff. So get help, people, you
So
know.
so basically these five different families that London wrote about in Burning Palms was the stereotypical sunny California California
Yeah.
harping on the hidden and bizarre um um ways that like these families were acting. So maybe he did see some weird shit growing up, you know? I don't know.
But he's not like a quirky filmmaker to make that stuff interesting. It just came off as just bad.
Yeah. I think it was the idea of the stuff was better than the execution. So he just he could have made it more interesting and more funny, but it was not funny. Like the two I saw were not funny. They made me feel weird and gross and just like unsettling. And then when you're saying that rape one, that really, I don't even want to see that, that would trigger a lot of people, you know? There's just things like it definitely just couldn't be made today, you know? I mean, talk,
No, at least
uh,
I spit on your grave. She got revenge.
right. With a girl who is into it or something, that's just gross. Like, just all of it's just like, yeah, man, you need to take a fucking shower, you know? Like, this just,
It says the segments are based on popular stereotypes of West Hollywood, Santa Monica, Sherman Oaks, Westwood, and Humbly Hills. I don't know where Humbly Hills is. Each of the characters in the film confronts taboos in an uncertain, often darkly humorous fate.
No, it wasn't funny at all.
From what you guys are telling me, yeah, it doesn't sound like it at all.
I mean, the only thing that I can think of with the rape one is as a guy, I hear and I'm like, what? This is what is, and Jackie, maybe you can put some clarification on this, is that women have a rape fantasy. So it's like they don't want to be raped, but there's a rape fantasy. Maybe that's what he's going for, that all women have this fantasy.
Okay, so I can talk about that a little bit. Not into detail, but so I'm like the worst person to ask about this question because I am just not like that at all. But through having other girlfriends, just as friends, I just call them girlfriends. I'm not gay. But there's a lot of like, what do you call it? Where they like to beat each other and shit during sex, like whatever is that's called. So maybe, I mean, maybe there is, I know there's a lot of like rape porn and stuff like that that I've heard about. Obviously, I haven't watched it. I would never watch anything like that. But so maybe so. And I think all of that has been going on for a long while, and people just were not making it public like they are now because there's all kinds of weird stuff now where both parties, though, it's not just women, it's like where both parties like enjoy being beaten somehow in the bedroom. I don't know.
Yeah, so maybe that's what that was about. Maybe that it just didn't come off that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of different scenarios where that could have came from. Maybe he heard a story about it and he just put that into his script, or maybe it was actually an idea of his own. Maybe, he's got a little screw loose somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, even the one with the finger that just it just went on for so long, and then it's like, I get at times people smell things that other people don't, and she didn't
Yeah.
want to do what she did, so she got all paranoid and weird about it to the point of cutting off her finger. But
Well, the point that he made that where she acted that she didn't want to do it, that's not where we're at in society with people that do this. I call it weird sexual stuff because to me, that is not normal. To me, that is abuse. But I guess if it's consensual and that's what you want, then that's what you want, like whatever. But the fact that she wasn't consenting to it and she was like manipulated into doing that, I
yeah,
don't
she
think,
was.
I don't think this was like obviously something that, she was going to enjoy doing or even wanted to do. So
Yeah,
I think it was a big shot on women, honestly. Like it sounds like like manipulate women into doing whatever we want them to do. I don't know.
I don't know, man, but I'm reading this like review of the movie and it's saying nice fucking things, and I'm like, you know,
Some
it's
people,
a
you guys would be
and it's a
surprised at the
woman,
amount of people that like to watch this stuff.
and it's a woman who's saying all these nice things about it.
Did they pay
Um,
her? They paid
I don't,
her.
maybe because she was friends with the guy. She talks about it. She met him,
Okay.
she knows him and everything. But it says
See?
in Santa Monica, we meet Dennis Marks and live-in girlfriend Deidre Davenport. Dennis is anxiously awaiting the arrival of his 14-year-old daughter, Chloe. Now, she was 15. I remember that specifically, when I saw that. So maybe it was 15 instead of 14, but perhaps a little too anxiously from the minute Chloe steps off the plane. Red flags go up to the average eye on viewing this relationship between father and daughter. There are no boundaries. Dennis lets Chloe drink, talk of sex and style in between the restaurant, table discussion. Hints of unnatural sexual casualness between the two creates more than an uneasiness for Deidre, who's seduced by the green-eyed monster. Ha! So it was that title. You look so bored, John. Am I?
no, I'm listening to
No,
Okay, okay. I'm
it
just
kind of
making
looks
sure.
like he's like hurting, like mentally trying to take all this
you.
in.
I'm
Dylan
also
McDermott.
remembering it as you're talking because
Yeah, and you're like,
I
oh
think there's even
God.
a nude scene in there where she walks around
Yes,
naked.
yeah. She's walking. She's on the like basically what is it? The roof, with the father sunbathing in the nude, like where people can see if they looked outside and stuff. And she's like topless, and he's just. I mean, he's not nude, but it's Dylan McDermott. I'm sure they would have had to pay him more to get nude, or he has a new nudity clause. But anyway, they do that, and I just thought, oh man, like this is just creepy shit. And I was just uncomfortable myself. And you know what it reminded me of? An unfunny version of the movie Happiness that Paul made me fucking watch
Ah.
for what I think it was for Film Freaks. But I don't know why he picked it for Film Freaks. It's a What the Fuck Friday kind of movie. But it was so weird and unsettling and had some really gross, like, child molestation kind of stuff. And I don't know, just made me, the whole idea was it's supposed to be called Happiness, and nobody in the fucking movie was happy. That was like the theme, you know? Like it was called that, but like everybody's in
Oh,
search of happiness.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've
You've
seen.
seen it?
Yeah,
Oh God, it's terrible. I told Paul I'll never watch that again. I said I'm glad I did watch it because I can say I've seen it, or whatever, but that's it. Like I never want to see that movie
that's
again.
why he doesn't make movies anymore because all of his films are the same. He also did like your friends and neighbors, which is the
He
same
did
thing.
Welcome to the
Now
Dollhouse, I
that's a
think.
good movie.
I've heard
But
really good things about
yeah,
that.
but
But
all of his movies are that.
yeah,
They're just miserable, unhappy, type of
gross.
stuff. I
Yeah.
remember in Happiness that the dad, who was Dr. Connors in Spider-Man,
Yep.
he he's a child molester. And his son goes, "Why didn't you ever molest me?" And the dad goes, "Because I masturbate."
Ah,
And I'm like,
Yeah.
"What? I'm
So
done with this guy."
so Paul might like burning palms because it's so fucking weird and gross and stuff, and
Paul
he
would.
likes, watching that stuff and showing people that weird shit, and things
Yeah,
like
he
that.
does.
I I just couldn't get into it. I watched those first two segments and I was just like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I can't.
See, and you're a little more excuse me, you're a little more, this is a bad word, sensitive to those things.
Hmm?
I'm not, I don't get easily offended. I don't turn movies off because, oh no, this isn't politically correct. I have no problem with a guy fucking a pie. It just doesn't bother me
Oh
at
no,
all.
no. That shit was
It's,
hilarious to me.
yeah,
Well, you're not gonna hurt a pie.
yeah, unless it's alive.
Just like Jason Biggs said, always goes back to that damn pie.
Pie.
You know?
Yeah. It's just stuff that I think there's only been two films that have really bothered me. This was one, and Irreversible was another one.
Irreversible, yeah. Which Paul has said, but Paul has talked about how it's the scenes sort of show what it would be, what it like makes you uncomfortable, but also it's a way like it's supposed to make you uncomfortable, right? And I guess that's what
Well,
this
yeah,
movie does. It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, but the problem is it doesn't bring anything to that, in my opinion.
right.
It just makes me feel uncomfortable.
Well,
And
Irreversible, because the movie's backwards, the more you find out about, the woman who gets raped, the worse it is. Because then like you find out she's pregnant and all this stuff, and you're just
what
like, oh,
about the one
so
where they adopt a kid, but then they want to return it? I heard about that. There was a segment in that where they like adopt like a kid or something from
I
not
said that he
the.
didn't write gay characters, and those are gay characters.
Okay,
It's
so
yeah, it's a couple. It's yeah, it's two men, and then they go and adopt the kid, and because the kid isn't high fashion, it's
Is
like
it
they
supposed
can't
to be
take the kid to
comedy?
parties. Yeah, so it's like,
Okay.
so they're like upper class guys that they know people, and they go to parties, like all these big parties, and the kid is like, the kid doesn't talk, something like that. There's something wrong, that they feel that there's something wrong with the kid, and they
like
keep
he's a
discussing returning the kid
like he's a
like it's,
defect or something. Like
yeah,
that's so fucked up.
like,
That's
oh,
really
my
messed up.
DVD doesn't play, so I'm gonna just take it down and just get another one. So it's really
Right.
like the kid is a product.
Unfortunately, we are so desensitized this day and age now that
Yeah.
like
Well, and
Oh, and the other thing in the story is another gay couple does have a kid who they taught like eight different languages. And is, even though he's like five, he has like the reading level of like a college student. And it's in the, so our original gay couple is very jealous of them because their child doesn't do any of that.
aw.
all
Does,
right.
does it end well? Does the child get to
No,
stay?
I don't know. I know something bad happens. It's not
Oh
to the child, but I think it's to one
no.
of them. I think something bad, no matter what, something bad happens at the end of each
Well, good. I
episode.
hope something bad happened to one of the people trying to return a fucking kid.
Oh
Just
God, this one sounds even worse. This is the last one. They said, and then there's the spoiled little brats in Hombley Hills or whatever, however you say that, who have nothing to do but torment each other and those around them. One of their victims is their maid, Blanca, whose dead baby's umbilical cord that she has saved forever is now missing.
So
Playing
they,
judge and
yeah.
jury, the boys hold their own kangaroo court with findings and revelations more astounding than the O.J. Simpson verdict. Be on the lookout for Austin Williams as Nicholas. Having seen him in Phoebe in Wonderland and now Burning Palms, he is destined for stardom.
So the kids end up stealing this like necklace, and they blame it on the maid, the Hispanic maid. And so they put together this court, and they force her to tell them that she had an abortion. and that
Jesus
she
Christ.
feels so horrible that they basically torture her to the point where she goes out into the backyard and hangs herself.
So
And
Is
then we
this
find
supposed to
out that
be
the
comedy?
kid, it's meant to be funny. And you
so
find out that these kids have the necklace, that they took it.
so this movie is basically everything you're not allowed to do today, like at all.
Well,
Movies about
as you should not be able to do
right. So
ever.
yeah, you shouldn't have been like this shouldn't have been approved at all. But incest, then there's, the smelling of the finger situation thing, the sex act.
It makes me want
Um,
to wash my finger, and it hasn't been up any butts. But you guys keep talking about poop on the finger, and I'm like, I'm feeling
and
weird over here.
and then the third one being the gay couple adopting the people, but then returning it as if it's property, the rape and the and now the abortion. Like these are just topics that like are very taboo. The movie should have just been called Taboo, because it's just that's all it is just things you shouldn't like see, or have anything like should not be made today, So yeah, I'm very glad I stopped it after two. I don't need to see the rest. Sorry, Christopher Landon. I hope then, I mean, you're doing really well with your directing stuff. Keep doing that, you know. Just
Don't make a number two.
don't make, yeah, well, because it will be a number two, and then you'll have to get a finger involved.
Oh,
Two of them.
Oh
You got to
God,
outdo
really?
the
Was
first
it?
one.
Oh shit. Oh. But anyway, yeah, it was
Yeah,
terrible.
it's like Disney got rid of Willow, like they just removed it from existence, and or I still want to see it, but like a Warner Brothers got rid of Batgirl. I would actually like to see that, but
I would
they
like to see
just
that too, just to see. I mean, why they really don't think it will,
Brendan
because
Fraser's Firefly. I think I think it's great casting, but it's like this is that movie that should be done with that. So whoever owns that film, they should just delete it from the hard drive and
yeah.
just not have.
Tubi, get rid of that movie. Don't let people see it. Come on,
I feel like
it's just
Tubi free for all, whatever goes on there.
oh, Tubi doesn't give a fuck, as long as
Hey,
you
they got
put
my
it.
movies on there, so that says that says something.
You will have
So,
to send me a list of your movies. Are you on TikTok?
I'm not. It's a political thing. I won't do TikTok.
Okay, okay. Are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram and I am
Are
on
we
Twitter
friends on
X.
Instagram?
We're friends on Facebook. I know that.
Okay, well, send me a message with your movies in them because I'm gonna look them up. That'll give me something to do.
she's always looking for something to do, really,
I mean, my YouTube channel has everything except for Meat Hook 4, Meat Hook Massacre 4, because I don't own that. But that has all my shorts, AXEMAS 1 and 2. Tubi has AXEMAS 1 and 2. Plex has 1 and 2. Prime has 1 and 2.
Okay.
And then we're
And
making 3 and 4.
and I'm not always looking for something to do, but I am a teacher and I am out on Christmas holiday break right now. So yeah, I'm bored.
I'll send you links.
Yeah,
And
send me
Yes.
links.
be interested in your opinion. So
Same here.
is that are we wrapped up now?
It's your show. You could have called it like a few hours ago. I don't know.
How dare you, sir? As Greta Thunberg would say, how dare you?
I don't know. As Rachel Zegler would say, weird, weird.
Weird, weird.
Weird.
She's another one. Hunger
Uh,
Games bombed. Hunger Games bombed.
well, they try to make it sound like it did better than it did, and and shit. But
She sings 3
whatever.
times in it. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
I saw
Oh,
a video with her, and there was Hunger Games promo, and she was on. She was the first person to speak, and every comment on it was like, "Why did you let her speak? Now I don't want to see it," and stuff. And I'm like, "Oh shit, this is not good. This is not good when you're trying, like, because she screwed up interviews so bad." that now no matter what she does, like she's scrutinized
Oh,
for
she's
it.
on the apology tour now,
Oh, I know.
where it's the
There's an
exact
apology
opposite.
tour.
Yeah, she's doing interviews now. She did one with was it the Little Mermaid, the new Little Mermaid? I
The
Mm,
forget.
girl who played Halle Berry? No,
Yeah,
Haley Berry.
Haley Berry. Yeah, I always
Haley.
get their names confused. And there's an interview with them where she praises Snow White, where she praises Disney, where she's like, it's the greatest animated movie ever. I'm so proud to be in this. That's funny because I can find 10 videos of you saying the exact opposite.
How can you retract your statement like that once it's been recorded and on air?
Because people
They'll
think
they'll
that
forget
by
everything.
some
They'll think
chance,
they'll just forget it. Just go out there and say now you praise everything.
yeah, because like the people who don't know that you said that stuff, or whatever, will think, oh, that's so sweet. And then they'll still like be fans of you. If you go on her Twitter, she has a huge fan collection of people who like support her and get mad and now everybody's like saying, oh, because why are all white men like hurt by Snow White and everything? And I'm not hurt by Snow White being Rachel Zegler. I'm hurt by her. I'm not even hurt. I don't give a
I
fuck. But I'm
am. They
just
should
saying,
follow the book. She's called Snow White because she's pure white. She's as white as snow. It's in the book. It's right there. It says it. So
well,
that's make your own Snow White. They had Snow White in the Huntsman. They had all these Snow Whites. Make a different Snow White. Don't make this Snow White. There's no reason why you have to.
don't even call it Snow White. Make a whole new
Yeah, just
uh,
do a whole
Disney
new
princess. Make
thing.
a whole new Disney princess, and she can not be saved by the prince, and that can be the whole thing
Oh,
with
and
the
then
whole
what she
thing.
said about the actor who plays the prince, how
Andrew
she's
Burnap, she said
yeah,
like he'll be fired, or
yeah. It's
he could
it's
be
Hollywood,
fired.
baby. You could be cut right out of the movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, some terrible stuff. So I
Young,
feel
dumb, and full of it.
I know, and I think that's the problem is she got fame way too quickly. She had never acted in anything on film until West Side Story, and then she was the lead in that. So like her ego went up like that. Then she was in Shazam, which you said was not that bad, actually, right?
It's
You said
it's not bad, but she's not good. I mean, she's
right,
fine. She does the job. But every
right.
movie she's been in is bombed. West Side
Well,
Story
she
bombed,
also
Shazam
talks
bombed,
badly
and Hunger Games bombed.
about Shazam and says that she only did it because it was a paycheck at that time. Like she didn't care about it, which is not what you're supposed to be saying about your movie, you know?
Mm-mm.
She does not know how to do interviews. If
No.
you're even if you don't like your movie, there was an actor and I'm not going to mention his name. I'm not going to mention what movie, but there was an actor I talked to, and he told me privately that he was not a fan of a movie that I owned of his, right? And everything. That's fine because that's not recorded, and everything. And that's why I will not bring it up because it's not recorded. So like I wouldn't want to do that to him. But if he had gone on record and said, I don't like that movie's a piece of crap, you know, then nobody would want to work with him, you
I
know?
think that I kind of sort of see both sides, I'm coming from, being an actress that's had no say in how a movie comes out. And there's also been movies that like I was dying to have a role in and I signed up for. And there was other times that I took roles just for a paycheck when it was typically not a movie that I would have done. So it's kind of I see what you're saying. There should be more of a gray area, but I don't know. It's kind of hard because you don't want to hurt people's feelings, but actors do movies all the time just for a paycheck.
Oh, I know, but you're not supposed to say it publicly about that, like in interviews. Interviews are supposed to be for to hype up the movie, not put it down, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Michael Caine has been pretty honest that he did Jaws: The Revenge to buy his mother a
Come on.
house.
That's like universally panned as one of the worst movies of all time,
But still,
you
he's
know?
admitted to it, and
Right.
I don't think that I think you need time
But
that
I
you
bet
don't.
when they were promoting Jaws the Revenge, he wasn't, at first, he wasn't like going around going, yeah, I just did this for a paycheck. This is a crap movie. Don't go watch it. That's a different thing. If you're You know, if you're talking about Shazam and people are going to go watch Shazam and the person says, "Oh, I did it for a paycheck," that's to me BS, you know. And
Maybe they just shouldn't do the interview if they want to be honest, because then on the other hand, you just have someone that's sitting up there lying.
well, that's what a lot of what you have to do. That's why Paul hates Hollywood. It's because a lot of what you have to do is lie. It's true. It's just the way it is because you don't want to hurt somebody's money. You don't want to, you don't want to hurt their business.
Mm, I
People
don't
need to
know.
make their money back. WB needs to make their money back off Shazam. If they're one of their lead actresses talking trash about it, it's not helping.
Well, yeah, well, maybe they just shouldn't have her interview for the movie.
They shouldn't have her interview at all. That's what I'm saying. I think she's just a terrible interviewer, you know? And you're
Yeah.
saying this too because, John, because you're saying she's going around retracting everything she
Yeah.
said. That doesn't make her look good either. So
No.
she's damned if she do, she damned if she don't
No, because
now.
people are
It's
making
screwed.
videos of her saying, like, retracting and then playing the original, then retracting and playing the original.
My favorite bit ever on Big Bang Theory, was that one dude, I forget, the guy with the lisp and everything. He comes up to Sheldon and he calls him, "Hey, you're the Weetwacta," right? That's your superhero name, the Weetwacta. And he was like, "That hurts my feelings." Oh, you shouldn't, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's like, "Oh, you just retwacted again." You're the Weetwacta. He walks away, right? And because that's all, that's to me, that's funny. I don't know. That was not as funny, I guess, to everybody else, but I think that's hilarious. You know, and you know what? And that right there, I guess maybe not as liked, people making fun of people's speech impediments, but it was funny, you know. Um,
I remember him. Yeah, it was funny.
yeah,
It's just if you're going to say something, expect backlash. It's
yeah,
just that simple, especially if you're in the public eye. If Christopher Landon, to circle back, is going to say something, expect backlash.
yeah.
So it's just going to happen. Remember, Mark Hamill liked one tweet from J.K. Rowling, and now he's a transphobic, even though he's like the biggest liberal on the planet.
Yeah.
Liked one tweet from her.
That's why I'm scared of like Twitter, period, because people were going, there's one point where people were looking and they were seeing how many people were following Johnny Depp as opposed to Amber Heard. And all of a sudden these women were collecting this data to say that because you followed Johnny Depp, even if you followed Amber Heard as well, if you followed Johnny Depp, you were a woman hater, all of a sudden. And I'm just like, it's not that it's not that that shouldn't be that black,
It's not black and white like that.
yeah,
It's stupid. I put something on my Facebook last week or the week before about all the ingredients that are in a Chick-fil-A sandwich. Just I was like, I thought Chick-fil-A was supposed to be like healthier, for like fast food. It was that simple. Like I just didn't know that many ingredients were inside a fucking chicken sandwich. And that turned into me being a homophobic who likes people that kill gays.
because you promoted Chick-fil-A.
I wasn't
E-
even promoting them.
Even though Chick-fil-A hates gays.
Well, that
The Chick-fil-A
apparently
sandwich
so. I didn't
themselves.
know. I mean, goddamn, I don't feel like I need to go do my research on every fucking place I'm gonna go get a fucking chicken sandwich at. Like people need
Yeah.
to calm down. I don't know.
That's why you got to really watch what you put. People have to, especially if you're famous or whatever. You gotta watch it. I don't know how many posts I delete because it's like, oh, okay, here we go. I happen to say I liked Batman and Robin better than Batman Forever, and now it's the end of the world, and it's bat nipples and bat butts, and oh, you must be gay because you like Batman because he has bat nipples, and it's like, delete, just forget
I
it.
well, I said happy birthday to Britney Spears, right? And I said, even though there's some controversy behind her, and I was mainly talking about her Instagram stuff. People took that as I didn't like her or I didn't like her, which if you know, Jackie, you know me, I love Britney
You like
Spears.
Britney Spears,
I love
yeah.
her.
You
Yeah.
love her.
But anyway, I didn't like her because what is it? The because of all the stuff that happened with her conservatorship and stuff like that. And he got back to that and I was like, that had nothing. I didn't even mention that. And this one girl blocked me over it. You know, all of a sudden I was a woman hater because I said she had some controversy. By the way, I did that because I didn't want people posting something below about the controversy happening with the Instagram. And people did. And it was women. So it had nothing to, you know, and it's just like, all right, this is what I was trying to avoid. And then, you know, it turned into
You guys are
some,
really talking me into getting like back into the film industry. Like I'm getting stoked over here. I can't wait. Like I'm gonna start tomorrow.
you're gonna start auditioning and, you know, oh,
No, I block everybody. If somebody comes on my page and they want to make something out of something that is not at all what I was even talking about, and they want to start this train of just negativity, then you're blocked. I don't care if I've known you for 30 years. Bye.
yeah, you've gotten into that fact, and we've talked about that too.
Yep. Don't
And
care. Deuces. Don't need your support. You're just making room for somebody else in my life. Sorry.
I don't have one
well,
person blocked.
Oh, I block everybody. Like
Not one.
I'm now at the you
you don't
get
have anybody?
more chances.
Not one.
Well,
No.
people have you blocked.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah. We've talked about this before, but yeah, there's somebody who blocks everybody who doesn't agree with them, which I think is bullshit.
Dustin
But
Ferguson.
I don't care. Like
My
it's I
video,
just
I could say it.
yeah, you can. I think it's stupid. Like there's plenty of people I see on social media that I don't agree with, but I don't care. That's their thing. I'm not going to go on to their page unless they're like abusing someone and it's very obvious. Like I'm not going to say anything. So I just kind of sort of respect like the same type of energy. And if you want to come on my page and because I mention a fucking sandwich and now I like to kill gays, I mean, you're gone. Bye. See ya.
I don't understand that. That's the opposite of what they don't like gays. They don't promote gays. So if you're saying this is a bad sandwich,
Yeah.
that's you're just
They
that's
said,
adding to what makes them
anti-Chick-fil-A.
bad.
well, they were
Yeah.
saying that the only reason why I know this is because I've eaten at Chick-fil-A. I'm like, well, who the fuck hasn't eaten at Chick-fil-A?
I've
Like,
eaten there twice and it sucked twice.
well, see,
I
but
So,
you
like their
still
chicken
tried it. You
sandwich.
still ate there. I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
but
I
I,
don't know.
but
My dad,
I eat it In and Out, and they have Bible scriptures on their stuff.
yeah, of course.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you
They
have In-N-Out?
yeah. Actually, everyone just right up the street,
Where do you live?
Las Vegas.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Do you have Waffle House?
I think. I
Isn't
think.
there one Waffle House in Vegas? I gotta make a trip for Waffle House.
I think there is one, but there are other kind
oh
of fancy waffle places here that are pretty
No, I need
pretty big.
Waffle House,
I could check.
specifically Waffle
I
House. Now,
think it
watch that
sounds
be
familiar.
some kind of right side thing and people try to come. You know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna eat my fucking hash browns.
my God.
I think we're finished now.
I think yeah, we gotta be careful, you know. Jeez. Everything's gotten political. Oh, Jesus. All
We're
right.
not being political. We're talking about other people that are being
That's
crazy.
what I'm saying. It's gotten political by just talking about other people being political. You know?
I did hashtag RIP Doctor Who, and my God, I thought I was going to be destroyed.
Oh
Delete.
God.
Yeah.
But it's
You
my
know,
fault. It's kind of my fault. I put it up there knowing that it would piss people off, and I did it
did
anyway.
you know that
You
or
put
did
it out
you
I
there with that energy?
I had a feeling that if I put this out because of the politics of Doctor Who now, that people would immediately
Mm,
say that I'm a transphobe, and that's what I got when I'm not. So it's
weird.
weird,
weird?
weird, weird, weird.
We're doing the Rachel
Weird.
Zegler weird.
I didn't even know that there was any backlash with Doctor Who, and I mean, okay, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
I
There's
had no
just
idea.
backlash with almost everything these days.
Well, it's right when Disney took over. It's right when
Yeah.
they started funding it is when
Oh,
everything changed. And it went in that direction of the doctor is an evil white male, is what it is. So he went from Jodie Whittaker, which was a woman, back to a man, and then it's commented to him that he's an evil white male and he should have stayed a woman.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's a whole, I mean, I could do like a 6-hour video just on Doctor Who because of the history and how long it's been on and all that type of stuff. So
Weird.
So, all right.
She's
so
now doing the weird thing. All right.
It's a good thing
All
to
right,
do, but you got to
everybody.
do your head when you do it. Like
You have to do the weird.
I've
In
never
her
seen
mouth.
it, but I'm catching on.
Oh man, I'll send it to you.
Send
Yeah,
it to me. I need to see this.
It's when she calls Prince Charming a stalker, and that back in 1937 that she guesses that was normal that a prince could stalk a princess, and she just went weird when she did her mouth, all like weird.
Oh, okay.
So now it's a meme. You're constantly seeing pictures of her with her mouth all weird.
I don't see those. It's not in my algorithms.
Yeah, she's yeah. So
Okay, so all right, so we're gonna call it quits now. We've been on here much
guess
longer
that's
than
up
what
to
I
you.
thought. So
well,
fine.
how much of it have we
Hold on,
talked
baby.
about
Hold
Chris
on.
Landon?
I think if I edited this, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah,
That's a
probably.
lie. That's a lie. At least an hour or so we talked about.
At least
Yes.
an hour.
Oh yeah. So, but I think people expect this because we always go off on tangents. So, but
Well,
all
you
right.
can edit.
No, I'm too
All
lazy. I'm too lazy.
right.
The only
Me
time
too.
when I really did do editing, actually, come to think of it, is when I had really bad internet and just like Zoom would just cut out.
Mm-mm.
And I'd put in like a little Simpsons cartoon of like a bird hitting power cables, and it says be back soon, and I put that in the middle. So
That's
but
funny.
that's it.
I think I've done that too for a couple of videos where maybe I was like, let's be, I think I've edited things that we've said just to be on the safe side of things. It's your podcast, so if you want to leave everything in, I don't
I
care,
have
'cause I don't
some
think we
stuff
said
that
anything.
I probably have pissed people off. I mean, as I'm sure people don't appreciate my Kevin Bacon
But do you
daughter
think people are
comment.
going to watch a 3-hour long video?
No, I've looked at my algorithm, however you pronounce it, and it goes up and it goes whoop.
3-hour long video. Whoosh.
But some people have told me they watch these things even when they're really long at work, and they just have them on more like a radio type thing. That it's just sound.
It's their ASMR, which I got in trouble with somebody for defending ASMR.
Jonathan, what does that do for you? What does that do for you, Jonathan?
Oh, trust me, it does a lot. Usually when a girl does it, but
we're getting some of that right over there. I can't get my finger right.
You trying to do that? Yeah. All right, everybody.
Oh yeah, they do that, right? They play with the microphone. Yeah.
Use nails. I just don't have any nails, so
They
Weird
use
stuff.
nails, or they have like
weird.
There
Did
you
you
go.
watch it yet? Did you watch it? No. Did you? Yes. She saw it. I just sent it to her, so yeah. That's awesome.
So bizarre. All right. Is there anything else that needs to be said?
I think Chris Landon rocks, and I'm sad he's getting some hate over something stupid like Scream 7.
Yes. And
I can't wait to see the next thing he does.
I'm in agreement with that.
And make Happy Death Day 3.
That would be nice too. And I did ask Jackey if she learned anything. So she learned a lot.
I did. I learned a lot about Christopher Landon. I hope, as for everyone else in Hollywood that are good people, and I'm going to say good people because I don't wish good things on bad people, but good people, I hope you guys keep working, and I hope, things just keep going on because we all need to make a living, and we all get to deserve to, do what we love in life. And he's really good with all of his other stuff. I mean, I don't want to watch his Desert Palm movie or whatever, or palming fires, whatever it's called.
Burning Palms. Well, I was so upset because the Burning Palms thing is sort of is a thing in LA where they're totems. If you see 5 certain totems, you're an LA resident, and one of them is a burning palm tree. So I thought that's what's going to be the 5 stories, were the different things in the from that would have been pretty cool, but then it would have been a different thing, I think, unless they still put incest and shit in there, and then I just not interested.
He just thought it sounded cool, maybe. Oh, Burning Palms. That'd be a good title.
Well, I mean, it's LA, so you do see burning palm trees, so makes sense.
Well, LA does catch on fire quite a bit, so
it does. And if like Trump said, if you guys would just rake it more, it wouldn't catch on fire. You're just not raking enough.
Fire almost came to our house. Thank God it didn't.
Yeah, when we lived in San
packing up and getting ready to go, you know.
Yeah.
I'm closer to you now. I'm closer to Vegas now. I'm in Bakersfield, so.
Oh yeah. I drive through Bakersfield to get to
4
California.
hours. 4 hours. Well, next time you coming through, give me a phone call. We'll find somewhere to eat. Talk movies.
I will. Okay. Thank you. So, all right.
All
on
right,
that
everybody.
note, because it's a positive thing, that we'll end this then. So,
yay.
So, thank you, Jackey. I had no idea you were coming on until Jonathan told me, and I think
she didn't know she was coming on. I didn't know. We all didn't know.
So I really appreciate that. So this is going to be such a bizarre video when people look at it. So I have no idea what to name it. I have no idea what the thumbnail is going to be, but I'm going to try to get it out within the next couple
weird.
days. Weird. So then, thank you, Jonathan. Of course, as always. So
of course, yes, it was fun.
Yeah,
it was a long day because we already did a 2.5 hour long podcast before this. So yes, it's been a long day.
I forget, what did we do?
Karate Kid.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Okay. God.
He's like, what did we do?
What did we do? What film? That's right. That's right. We did do Karate Kid. That was a good video too. So people check that out. So, all right, everybody. Once again, thank you, Jackey. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you made it all the way through this, you're amazing.
Oh my God! If you watched this all the way through, please leave a message, like a comment below. Unless you just skip to the end, and then that's not fair. Don't leave us a comment.
No. As I'm sure somebody has said something to offend somebody, so maybe we did our jobs. So,
my God.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you again, and I will see you on the next video, whatever this might be. So, bye, everybody. Bye.